Later. Yes, people. Well, welcome to Usman Talks United. Tonight is Friday Rivals. It's a little bit different tonight. I'm joined by three of the lads on the panel. Bobz will be joining us later, I'm reliably informed. So what we're going to do tonight, people, is we're going to do a little bit on fixtures. We're going to talk about Tottenham. We're going to talk about Liverpool. We're going to talk about Man United because that is the presence in the room. Then we're going to go into our panel's Premier League picks. So how it's going to work is Ash is going to start with a goalkeeper. Name his goalkeeper, and it's down to Rack and Jerry to come up with their alternatives. There can be no duplicates. And at the end of the 11s, we'll sit and discuss who's got the best 11, who's got the best defence, who's got the best midfield, who's got the best attack, and we'll pick a winner. So it should be fun. Get on the comments and obliterate these guys when they pull out the names because I'm going to. So it would be a good crack. Right, so come to you, Ash. We're talking about fixtures. Obviously, Spurs. It's Palace, isn't it, for you guys?
Yeah, Selhurst. Yeah, Selhurst away.
Yeah, I think Patrick Vieira's dead man walking personally, mate. But your thoughts on the game?
It's going to be a difficult one. I mean, Selhurst is always a tough place. It's always a tough place to go. I think we're short in some areas. So Son is out. Oliver Skip is out, I believe. Bergwijn's out, but he's not really going to be a miss anyway. So I'd say first team wise, I personally think, I hope he recovers, but I personally think it's a good thing that he's injured because I think, me personally, I just feel that he's one of the weakest links in our squad. The frustrating thing about Bergwijn is, I'll quickly just touch on him before I go into the game, is just he does everything right apart from score and assist. Like his dribbling in tight spaces is good. You know, he plays with his head up. He's not afraid to take players on. He's got that little bit of skill in him that will, allow him to turf 2 or 3 players. Loves a nutmeg, but yeah, it's just that end product's lacking. So I want to see Brian Hill. I'm pretty sure I'll be seeing him tomorrow starting. So I'm looking forward to that. But on the game, I think it's going to be a difficult game, man. I think we're going to be, from what I've seen this season, and from looking at the players that Palace have got, I think it's going to be similar to the Wolves game, but not as much of a battering. We got absolutely battered the Wolves game, but we're going to place a large parts of that game on the back foot. It's going to be difficult without Son. We haven't. The biggest thing we lack is goal scorers. Son's out. We got Kane, so I can see it going. I can see it being a very kind of cagey game. Tottenham on the ropes, but then obviously we will have our chances. We will have our chances against Palace. I don't doubt that for a second. But yeah, it could be either 1-0 Spurs, like a smash and grab, or it could easily be a draw.
Can I just quickly?
Go on, Jerry. Jump in, mate. Go on.
Obviously, with the Argentine whatever stuff that happened with that, so he misses Sanchez, Romero, Lo Celso.
Yeah, that's another one. Sorry, Sanchez is out. As much as I criticize him, he's actually been very good this season, and him and Dyer have it kills me to say it, but they've had a very good partnership so far. So Sanchez is going to be out, Romero's out, so that means it's going to be Tanganga. Tanganga will move to centre back, so it'll be Tanganga with Dyer, and then the new boy Emerson will come in at right back.
But not Doherty.
Nah, it'll be Emerson.
Okay,
that's a mad one.
Everyone thinks that Nuno will, be rubbing his hands together because Doherty. But the funny thing is, Nuno wanted him out. Nuno was more than happy to sanction his sale when he was at Wolves, because that season prior he was just all over the place for Wolves. So, I mean, since Nuno's come in, he's played Tanganga right back every game. He's not even give Doherty a look in. The only games Doherty's played is the Conference League. He hasn't played any Prem.
Do you think there was an issue between him and Doherty forced his way out of Wolves, and this is a little bit of payback?
I think it was just a case that, I think he got to a point where he was kind of surplus to requirements. They wanted to find they had that deal for Semedo potentially in the wings, and I'm not the biggest fan of Semedo, but he was a player at the time that had a lot of potential. So yeah, it was just one of those where they just wanted to get him out. And from what I was following, the negotiation of that deal, it was so easy. It was one bid, deal done. They didn't hesitate in not letting him go at all. I think they knew that what they could see over the horizon.
They got good money for him, to be fair.
Spurs are a really interesting one this season because there were a lot of players there that I don't really know much about. So I'm really intrigued to see how they do because that centre-back that you got that was the Defender of the Year in Syria, haven't seen much of him. Brian Hill, I'd never even heard of him before, but all the reports that you read about him saying he's a proper talent. So, yeah, it could be, I mean, it's a bit early to talk about dark horses and stuff, but if all those players click, then Spurs could have something.
Yeah, I saw he started in the Brian Hill started in the Conference League games, and the Conference League game at home to Pacos, that Portuguese team, he was head and shoulders the best player on the pitch. I know it's Conference League, but the signs are there, man. The signs are there.
Yeah.
And obviously we've got news came out today that Tanguy wants to come back into the team, so that's going to help us massively.
Ndombele.
Ndombele. If he can get himself fit and back into this team, it will. I can't put into the significant difference that he makes to our midfield. It's unrivaled, man. We need him in this team desperately.
You could go for a 4-3-1-2 and play him in the one because I don't think he gives you enough defensively. I don't think he's switched on enough, and I don't think he's alert enough defensively. He kind of suffers from the same thing that Paul Pogba suffers from, which is they go to sleep when they don't have the ball. And, players
also they just kind of lack that little bit of extra oomph in there. Getting stuck in, making tackles. I think they both kind of lack that. I think Tanguy lacks it slightly more than Pogba. But another interesting thing I was thinking for Tanguy is that position might work for him just playing behind the strikers. But I also think playing as a number 6 next to Højbjerg, because people think number 6 is more defensive duties. Not necessarily. Number 8 is more, because number 8 you're more up and down the pitch. And what I mean is you're covering more ground. As a number 6, you tend to cover less ground. And
but isn't his fitness an issue for Tottenham? Because I remember Tottenham fans saying
his fitness. It has. Do you know what? It has been an issue. But then my problem is that everyone had fitness problems under Jose. Like we used to see come up to February, we were just getting burnt out. And then when Jose got sacked, so when Jose came into Spurs, he actually got rid of the data staff, like the data scientists, all the analysts. He doesn't believe in that stuff, right? Yeah. Jose believes in what he can see visually. He doesn't believe in all his stats and all that stuff. He did the same at Man United. He got rid of all those guys.
So just play DA a second on Ndombele playing in the 6 role. So at any point in the game, if you're playing in the 6, you should be able to freeze frame the game and look at where that player is and recognise that he's shutting down danger. So basically his positional play is really important. It's what Thiago's good at. Thiago's not brilliant at pressing the ball. Thiago's not a brilliant tackler, but he knows how to occupy space and shut down those areas that the team they're playing against might want to play in. My concern with Ndombele is he'll play a slide rule pass and he's got that, or he'll beat a man. He's got that in his locker all day.
He's got that little turn.
And then he'll spend the next 10 minutes admiring what he's just done, rather than focusing on the nitty gritty of marking space is the hardest thing to do, because very often you're marking space on your own. You've not got a man to occupy you, so you tend to do what the kids do to some degree, and even professional footballers do it. They start wandering towards the ball, and that's where the discipline comes in, and they want to get involved in the game because he's a baller. If you played him in the 4-3-1-2 and you played him in the 1 role, every time he gets the ball, he's asking questions and he's a danger. Similarly to Pogba in regards that he switches off and goes to sleep. If you can give both of those guys a formation where they've got no defensive responsibilities, they thrive. Both of them absolutely thrive.
I think that's definitely something that could work for him, because also he's very not just press resistant, but he invites a press. Like a lot of teams will see someone like Tanguy, and when they see him on the ball, they're thinking we need to press him immediately because he's got the ability to make something happen out of nothing. He'll draw players out of position, which means other players can get forward, get involved in the game. I do think that's a good position. I would like to see him in both, just so I can see, because under Jose, it was very difficult to see where, like, because we weren't really playing fluid football under Jose, so it was very difficult to see. So I want to see him again playing both different roles and then see which one's best for him. Because
it's interesting you say that because I watch Liverpool and Rack watches Liverpool, you watch Spurs and Jerry watches United through a totally different perspective than we watch each other's teams. So we don't see what other people see. We're influenced by our love for our club.
I'm the same. Yeah, I'm the same.
Yeah, and it happens to everybody. So I remember years ago when I was managing a football team, we went and watched the team in second and third place play. And when we came away, I said to the chairman of our football club, "That was a really good game. That I was really impressed." And he turned around and said to me, "Yeah, but your team's better. You just don't watch it that way." And that is exactly when it's rose-tinted glasses, isn't it? You look at it and you think, "Oh, that was brilliant." And the reality is, it's probably not. But you're so invested in it and you so want it to be brilliant, you kind of convince yourself it is.
Yeah.
If I was a guy who had Ndombele in my team, I would be playing to his strengths. Mate, he's
100%.
ridiculous. He can go off either foot.
And the thing is with him is he is head and shoulders comfortably our best midfielder. There's no one in our squad in that midfield that's better than him. So the way I see it is you have to align and get the right personnel in your midfield that suits him. You have to build your midfield around him.
Talents.
Yeah, you have to build your midfield around him. Like Dele for me just doesn't cut it. He don't cut it as a number 8. He doesn't cut it as a number 10. So I think if I was to bring one out, I'd bring him out and I'd put Tanguy in front of Skip and Højbjerg. And I think that would probably be a lot better for us, especially when you're waiting for that moment of brilliance, that creative spark. And also Tanguy's got a good shot when he does shoot. He's got a very good shot on him as well. So if he plays in a more advanced role, he definitely gives you that goal threat as well.
I was surprised you got him because he was hot in European football, really hot.
Yeah, I remember United wanted him at the time.
Yeah, I wanted him. Can't lie, I did.
Yeah. Same as Houssem Aouar is hot now, as also at Lyon. Lyon seem to develop these midfielders that everybody wants. So yeah, he's a baller, mate. And teams need to start building their teams around their best players. Manchester United should be building their team around Paul Pogba, not a 36-year-old. No disrespect to Cristiano Ronaldo. No. Hear me out.
I hear what you're saying.
Listen, you can't question Ronaldo's career or his motivation or his drive or his intensity for 1 second. You can only sit and admire it. But £30 million wages for the next 2 seasons, including bonuses, is a lot of money to spend on a player who isn't the future of your football club. And I was speaking to another Man United fan this week, not directly, but Mason Greenwood's grown because he's been thrust through the centre this season, and it's your job, mate, go and score the goals, and he's delivered. Now he's going to be pushed out to the right. Yes, he'll learn from Ronaldo at training, because who wouldn't? But is that sending him the right message to say to him, actually, you've scored 3 in 3 or whatever you've got 38 goals in 56 appearances or whatever it is, but we've signed this guy and we all know he's a legend, but what we're going to do now is we're going to move you back onto the right where, quite honestly, you don't like it.
You know,
sorry, go on, right?
I just want to say, the problem with building around Pogba is, especially with his contract situation, you don't know if he's going to be there next season either, right? So it's like, then you need to potentially plan for that eventuality. Like, do you build around Bruno? Do you build around? There's talk of a DM, but he hasn't come in, so it's a difficult one.
You know, the Pogba situation for me, I know Man United will have offered him what they can offer him by now, right?
Yeah.
If he hasn't signed it by now, for me, it just means that he's off. In his head, he's planning, I'm going to Madrid next season. Because to think about it, right? Pogba's what, 28?
28, yeah, going to be 29.
So he's 28, yeah? So realistically, he's got one big contract left in his career. The next contract after this one, the salary is going to go down, right?
Yeah.
And he's going to think to himself, like, for me, I know that it's his dream to play for Real Madrid. I just sense that from him. I think he said it before as well.
Yeah.
So I think that he's got to think to himself, I'm 28, turning 29. This might be my last chance to go to Real Madrid.
Yeah, you're right. But there was the Zidane connection as well, which is obviously now gone.
That's the thing that throws it in the works because with Pogba, like you said, Zidane was a big factor in him going to join with his idol, so to speak. But with 1 year left, like you said, Ash, I think he is planning. So obviously, he has the power then to choose where he goes, gets a big signing on fee. But I think with the team we have now, maybe when you look around Europe, Real Madrid, obviously, they have their problems. Barcelona, whatever, PSG, I don't think he'll go there. If we can have a decent season, I think maybe he could sign. But then with Ronaldo coming in, I think Pogba really wanted to be, the highest paid player at the club. But now Ronaldo's coming and he's, his wages are astronomical. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. But I'm not holding any hope that he's going to stay.
Do you know what I think? I think also what I think Pogba's looking at is what Real Madrid are going to do next season with. Obviously, we know Mbappe's going there.
Oh yeah,
that's pretty much a done deal. They're going to go for Haaland. Obviously, Mbappe's free, Haaland free. Pogba, Camavinga. He's going to be thinking that next season they're going to have a serious team.
I think whoever buys Haaland's got to spend 175 now. I know people are going to say, yeah, but wait a minute, Steve, he's got a £66 million release clause in his contract.
Nah, agent fees and all that.
There's no way Dortmund turn down potential bids this summer with the view of losing £100 million next year. That they just don't operate like that. So my view is that
the release clause is this summer.
No, it's next summer. 66 million next summer.
This coming summer. So not this year, 2022.
The end of the season, right. So that is what I said, but in a roundabout way. So basically, I see Dortmund sitting down with him and saying, "There's a big wage rise for the rest of this season, but we're going to put £175 million release clause in your contract."
Oh, you mean get him signed a new contract?
Get him signed now with the proviso that if Real Madrid come with 175, you can walk. That's a Dortmund thing. That's a mini Raiola thing to do.
Do you think he signed that though? Because he kind of
doesn't make sense.
Is that Harry Kane?
I don't think he'll sign it because it then makes it more difficult for him to leave because that kind of money is going to put teams off.
The difference is also the difference is that if say for example, say we say Haaland is worth 150 million and you can buy him for 80 million euros, what's then going to happen is that a big chunk of that is basically then going to go into his salary because because basically Real Madrid are getting £150 million player for maybe £120 million. So 50 million from the 50 million euros above and beyond what Dortmund would get will basically get put into his salary and his wages. That's the way Mino Raiola kind of maximises his return. That's how Haaland maximises his return.
The deal that was structured was the transfer fee, Raiola's own fees. His dad wants £20 million for flying around the world with him. And then he wants, get this, then he wants £50 million a year.
He's small.
This is what Raiola's asking for Haaland. He's asking him to make him the first £50 million a year footballer. So if Dortmund thought they could sell him this summer for 120 million to Chelsea, they would have done it. That Raiola guy's just mate, he should be agents should be taken out of football, full stop, end of, because they're ruining the game. And the net spend thing, that's a load of bollocks, mate, because net spend doesn't take into consideration agents' fees. It doesn't take into consideration when the player doesn't want to leave and you have to pay him to terminate his contract. It's just something the media do to generate clickbait. Net spend it doesn't exist for me, if I'm being honest with you. Anyway, we went on a bit of a sideline there, didn't we? Back to your game. I think Tottenham score 3 against Palace, and I don't think Palace score at all.
Yeah,
I can't see what they're trying to do.
Do you know what? To be fair, I've only seen their opening game against Chelsea, where they got battered 3-0. I didn't see any kind of. I just didn't see anything from Palace in that game. I haven't seen. So apart from that first game against Chelsea, I haven't actually watched their next 2 games. So I'm not really sure what they've been about. Obviously, I've looked at the results. I've watched Match of the Day. It doesn't really they don't look that great, but it's just one of those places where it's a tough place to go. Selhurst. I'd love to smash them 3-0. But yeah, I just think it's going to be. I think it's going to be one of them tight games. I reckon we'll win 1. I reckon it'll be another 1-0.
You reckon?
Yeah.
What do you think, Jerry?
Yeah, I have to agree, man. Like Spurs, I know they don't travel well to Selhurst Park, man. I think the last time they won probably like 3 years ago, and it was
The
one.
last time we won at Selhurst was we drew there last season. I think it was the season before that.
Yeah, it's been a while, and you don't really, it's always tight games. So I'm gonna have to agree with Ashman. I think again another scrappy 1-0 with Son being out. Maybe Kane gets the goal, and yeah, I think Tottenham will accept that. I mean, they're top of the league. I know there's not much pressure on them, but they're the early kickoff, get the 1-0, and then just get out of there. So yeah, I'm gonna stick with 1-0, man.
Rack?
Yeah, look, I really want Vieira to do well. I question whether he will or not. Well, I guess time will tell. But Spurs have had a really good start to the season, so I see them winning. I haven't watched either team closely, so it's a bit of a guess. But I'd say 2-0 Spurs based on.
I think one of the positive things is, even Ledley King said this, is that the difference between this season and last season, that there's a togetherness in the squad. There's on the pitch. I mean, there's a lot more fighting. People making tackles that they probably wouldn't have made last season. People are covering. Dele Alli covered more ground in that Man City game than he's ever covered in his whole Spurs career. So I think there's a lot more togetherness there. There's a lot more fight. So I think that's something I can kind of be a little bit more enthusiastic about. I mean, even if we do go a goal down, I know that we will fight to try and win that game, and they'll do everything they can.
Cool. All right. So we're all in agreement then that Spurs are going to come out with this with the 3 points. Maybe how they come out with the 3 points we're a little bit divided on, but I don't think there's enough about Crystal Palace to present a problem. I've watched Palace, and I don't know what Patrick Vieira is trying to do there, guys. To be brutally honest with you, I'm not sure he knows what he's trying to do.
They've not been good in their second and third.
But they just there's something missing. We spoke about this a little bit last week. They don't have that experienced centre midfielder that knows when to put a foot on it, when to slow it down. If it clicks, it could work quite well because he brought in lots of youth, lots of exuberance and energy and stuff. But that's not enough on its own. You need a plan.
What about the striker they bought? Edward from Celtic.
Edward.
Yeah,
that's his first game, isn't it? But
yeah.
Without being disrespectful to Scottish football, a track record in Scotland doesn't mean much when you come into play in the Premier League. He's got ability, he's got certain attributes to his game that I'm sure he'll get goals, but you'd be asking a lot of a lad who's been playing sort of Farmers League football to come into the Premier League and turn it on against a side that defensively is a coherent unit, which is what Tottenham very much are. So I think he might take a little while to find. He's a good player, but he might take a while to find his feet. So on to United. You feel free to mention the big man if you want, Joey. I was only joking before.
Is he going to start?
No,
I don't think so.
There've been a lot of debates on group chats, Twitter. For me, it's impossible that he's on the bench. I mean, how many times have we even announced him in the past week? Like every time I refresh my feed,
on the bench.
Nah, he can't, man. I'm sorry, he can't. But we've thrown Ronaldo in people's faces this whole week. Even he said that he's ready to go. He's gonna tell Oli he wants to start. And for
he's
me,
gonna say he wants to start, definitely. But I reckon Oli's gonna say,
Oli does have the minerals to say no to Ronaldo.
Come off on the bench.
He does have the minerals, man. He's not that guy. Like if Ronaldo wants to start, he's starting. Innit? Like it's the homecoming, it's the return. Like I'm lucky enough that I'm going to the game. I need to see him starting. Like I gotta wake up mad early to travel with me to see him on the bench for 20 minutes.
Jerry's not starting.
This guy looks love struck right now.
Listen, he has to start, man. If he doesn't start, I'll be so upset. It's not like we need him to beat Newcastle, but
you just want to see him,
man. He's ready to go. Like he's my man gave me the full screen, he's come back from international break early, which is a plus. He's trained all week. So there's no reason for him not to start, man. Like when I think if he's not starting, Martial starting or like Sancho's got a knock. James started the last game. I don't think Martial gets the game. Cavani ain't touched pitch yet, so I think he's starting, man. I know yeah, he is. He's been training as well. But for me, Ronaldo has to start, man. He has to. I think he is. So yeah, with Newcastle, I think it's going to be a pamming. Newcastle, for me, I think even last week I said they'll go down. I think
that's what I said. Yeah, we both
apart
said
from Norwich at home, I think this is the perfect home game to have.
I reckon that's a 3-0 Man United.
Jerry, got a question for you, bro.
Yes.
Where do you sit in the ground when you go?
Sorry?
Where do you sit in the ground when you go?
So Alex Ferguson stand.
Is that near where the players warm up when they're coming on? Because if that's the case, you'll see Ronaldo close up, mate. Because he's not starting that game, man. I'm telling you.
Oh, bro, don't say this. He started, man. He has to, man. He has to.
I think there's a lot in Ollie's comments. We will see him at some point on Saturday for sure. There's a lot in that.
Yeah, I know.
You see that comment there? He said that he's going to be involved and we'll see him at some point. That's what makes you think he's going to be on the bench.
No, but he's trying to throw you lot off. Listen, Ollie's a liar.
Yeah, Fergie used to do all that kind of stuff. Remember Fergie? Like he's like, oh yeah, it's touch and go whether he's going to make it. Next thing you know, the man's starting, playing 90 minutes. I'm like, what the fuck's going on?
Exactly, man. Don't listen to Ollie. He's a top class liar. I swear down. I think he's.
But to be fair, it's like it's one of those where it ain't going to make a difference because it's Newcastle. Do you know, if it's a big game like Chelsea, then I can see why he's playing those mind games. Do you get what I'm saying? But if it's Newcastle, it's like, come on, man, just say he's starting.
The thing I think is, if he came back to the squad late, obviously with internationals and that, I'll understand but he came back. Was it Monday? Monday he was at Carrington and he's trained the whole week. So that Ollie said he's been good in training. He's ready to go. For me, I think he's just trying to play some mind games. But I'm sure I'll see him on the team sheet tomorrow, 2:00. So. I'm looking forward to the game. I think we slapped Newcastle 4-0.
Yeah, I reckon it's 3-0 all over it, man.
I reckon it's 5.
Wow, yeah, I'll take that. I'll take that, man. See? I can't trust him. I'm telling you, man. He's a liar.
He's a world-class liar. He's got to be good at something, eh?
Oh, gosh.
Oh, man, it was too easy. You set me up good, proper there, mate. So Rack, Newcastle. What the bloody hell's going on with Newcastle, mate?
They are. I said this. They are just terrible.
Steve Bruce FC. He needs to go.
I mean, we've been saying this ever since Bruce came in, and like to be fair, in terms of his league positions and finishes, they've done okay, but yeah, they're just a poor and not. Yeah, I was going to say average, but they're just a poor team that just over the last few years has just done enough to kind of stay up and not necessarily done the bare minimum, but they would get points every now and then. You're like, how the hell do they even get a point or get? Like I remember the game a couple of seasons ago against City, where they got absolutely battered and somehow got a 2-2 draw. That was partly also because City, I think that season's kind of given up by that point. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's bad because Newcastle have got a good set of fans, and they probably deserve better. But yeah, but they probably deserve better. But yeah, Mike Ashley.
I mean that midfield they've got Longstaff. Who's it?
Shelby. Who else?
Is it Miguel
Almiron?
Yeah. Obviously they've
Callum Wilson's out as well, which is a plus.
Huh?
Callum Wilson is out for the game, so
they're done. They are done.
Joe Linton up front. I'll take that.
Joe Linton and St. Max.
Yeah, St. Max is the only that we have to look out for.
St. Max, he reminds me of a bit of. He reminds me a bit of. I mean, in terms of. Do you know what? I like him, but he's very, very, very selfish.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the times, you're like pass the ball, and he just tries
dancing.
Tries to, do his little dancing on the pitch, in and out, and it's like you could really simplify the game and just pass it.
Yeah, he's 50% footballer, 50% showman, and that's the right kind of division.
Do you know what though, guys? He's an entertainer and he puts bums on seats, and do you know what? I'd pay money to watch him play, mate, because he gets you on the edge of your seat, doesn't he? So, he's. And
to be fair, Newcastle have a history of that type of player. Like, even back in the day, like David Ginola and stuff like that. Like, don't get me wrong, Ginola obviously he went to Spurs and did good things at Spurs, but he was a showman at Newcastle, and they had.
He was a showman at Spurs as well.
Yeah.
He was a lovely footballer. Ginola was a lovely footballer.
Yeah, he's one of my favourites.
Very graceful for a very big guy, but Zidane-esque in the way that he moved. To be fair, Zidane was graceful for a for a guy with size 14 feet. You wouldn't believe he could do the things he could do, but there you go. Yeah, I see United winning that one, an absolute stroll. You couldn't have asked for a better team for me to come to, other than Arsenal, obviously, to come to Old Trafford for Ash, that was for you, bud. I knew you like that. Yeah,
it's the relegation battle this weekend.
6-pointer.
The 6-pointer.
That's mad. We'll talk about this for a minute because it is a 6-pointer, guys. We're like 4 or 5 games into the season, isn't it? And we've got a 6-pointer, and Arsenal are in that 6-pointer, and it's a relegation. If Arsenal lose, they're in a dogfight, aren't they?
If they lose, if they lose, they're finished. They are finished. I reckon if they lose, there'll be one more game for Arteta to save himself. I don't think that will be the game, but I reckon it'll be the next one after.
If they lose, AFTV will explode literally.
Listen, Norwich at home is the worst fixture to lose. I think meltdowns galore.
You lose at Norwich to home. There's not a worse fixture in the Prem that you can lose.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The only worst, like Steve said, the only other fixture that you could lose at home that's just as bad is Arsenal at home.
Yeah,
it's really bad, isn't it, guys? It's really bad. Like it's
But you know what I've heard though? I've heard that they are speaking to representatives of Conte.
Not getting Conte.
I don't think they have the money to pay. Nah.
They will. Do you know what? I'll tell you something, yeah. And I hate to say it, but if Conte would sit at the negotiation table with Tottenham, and was interested in the job, should he get what he wants, he's going to do the same for Arsenal. And the thing is, Arsenal spent, what was it, 130, 140 this season?
Yeah.
So they spent that this season in coming off an 18-month COVID environment where they had no fans, no match day revenue, none of that, right? So imagine when they've got all the fans back, they will be able to give Conte a lot more money.
So my understanding was that the negotiations broke down with Tottenham for a couple of reasons. Conte credits himself with Juve's dominance of Serie A, both starting it and ending it, and he's right, because he did.
Yeah.
So it makes his own personal stock really, really high. He doesn't want to answer to anybody. He wants to run everything.
Mm-hmm.
So unless the Cronkies are going to say you've got an open checkbook, and let's be honest, you do have a point, Ash. Anyone that's prepared to sanction £30 million for Aaron Ramsdale will throw. Jerry's gone again. Look, he finds that one funny.
I cannot believe it.
But if they're prepared to do that, then they're obviously prepared to throw silly money at things, aren't they?
The only reason why Conte was interested in the Spurs job, the only reason why he didn't take it is because, one, he couldn't get the amount of staff he wanted. Tottenham limited him to 3 staff, right? And then the second reason is that he didn't. I think there was a figure told about what the net spend would be. So obviously net spend is whatever it is, and then you can increase your spend depending on who you decide to sell in the squad, right? You could sell Kane, you've got the money there, and there just wasn't an agreement. And he's a winner, right? He goes somewhere to win. So he's going to look and say, right, I need this amount of budget to get this team to challenge. And if the club doesn't offer that, he's not going to take it, because he's not going to potentially take a hit on his CV where he doesn't have to. Let's be honest, he can wait another year.
Here's a question for you then. If 2 games time they decide that's enough for Arteta, he's gone, and Arsenal are still languishing in the bottom 3, which I fully expect them to be, but I don't expect them to be there at the end of the season. And they bring in Conte, and he's then got to wait till January before he can sign anybody. And January transfer windows are very, very difficult.
They can't sign anyone anyway. Their squad is maxed out.
Right. Okay. Well, they've got to sell to buy.
You got to sell to buy. Yeah. You got to sell.
But will he want to be making signings as a Championship manager? Because if they lose to Norwich, mate, that's something that could become a thing. You know.
Oh.
You know what? You are right, and I think it will heavily depend on where they are, because I think if they're struggling down at the bottom, let's say 7 or 8 games into the season, I think Conte is going to be thinking he's going to have a lot of work to do. And it's, I mean, you look at when he took off at Inter, they weren't that far off from winning the Scudetto. So I think with Arsenal, I think if he feels that they're so far away, he might just say it's not worth my time.
I think the difficulty is, like, obviously Conte did really well at Chelsea, but the other person who he worked closely with when he was at both Juve and Inter was Beppe Marotta, the director of football, and he helped assemble those squads before Conte even got there. Certainly at Inter, he was already in situ. So,
Are you talking about Marotta?
Yeah, the director of football at Inter.
And
obviously
he used to work with Paratici, Marotta and Paratici.
Yeah, he was Paratici's senior. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he was his senior.
So that would be interesting, and I think that's maybe that was part of the reason why Spurs was sold to Conte as well. But I don't know. I mean, the thing is, if you want to, although it makes sense to bring Conte in potentially, if you look at the players they've bought, they're not really Conte players. Like, this is why I think that if they do get rid of Arteta, just for the sake of continuity, it doesn't make sense to bring in Conte, because the 150 million £150 you've just spent on Ben White. I don't think Ben White is a Conte defender, and you just spent a third of your transfer budget.
That's a really good point.
So it's just a weird one. Like, the whole point of a director of football is to have continuity outside of managerial changes, and so if you get rid of a manager, you bring someone who's got a similar philosophy and similar ideas, so you're not wasting money every time you sack a manager. So I don't know. It's just a really puzzling one. And Arsenal squad's all over the place. So
I reckon if they didn't get Conte, they'd go for someone like Ralph Hasenhüttl.
Yeah.
Or Graham Potter, someone like that. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I was chatting to you guys. You guys probably know Igor. I was chatting to Igor, and he mentioned a couple of guys who I think are worth considering because they're interesting names. Ralph Rangnick, who I think is in Russia at the moment, but he's one of the guys.
Rangnick, he took a job in Russia as a director, didn't he?
Yeah, but he was the guy behind the whole Red Bull structure of RB Leipzig, RB Salzburg.
Yeah.
And
I remember he signed Kimmich for like 500k. Mane, Kimmich, all these guys.
And he's obviously going to have a network behind him and contacts behind him. It'll be a bit of a weird one because obviously you've got Edu there as a director of football already. So even though Ragnick's been both a director of football and a manager, he can do that dual role. So where does that leave Edu? I don't know.
Tottenham wanted Rangnick, but the problem with Rangnick is he wanted control of everything, and obviously Tottenham already had Paratici in the framework. Yeah, so it just wasn't going to happen. So I think Rangnick would be out of the question because he'd basically he wouldn't work with Edu. No way.
Just back to Conte. If I'm Conte, I'm going to sit in my hands and wait to see what happens with Ollie's job at United, because that is a squad that he would love to work with. And I think the signings of Sancho, the signings of Varane, the signing of some of the other signings are club signings and not Ollie signings. I have to be honest with you, Jerry, and don't take offence. I'm not even sure Ollie's talking to these players. I think the club are doing it.
Nah, I disagree. I don't disagree, but I think Ollie, the Sancho thing, that's him. Like he really wanted Sancho from early. Obviously, he was prepared to wait the second year. Varane and Ronaldo, I think that was just the Ronaldo. Obviously, that was just sprung onto us. We didn't. It was a surprise for him to be available, and we just jumped at the opportunity. But the rest, like Maguire, I think they're only signings. I think those are the players he really well. Bruno, he went to watch him like several times.
I don't think they're his targets. I think the club says these are the main guys, and then he will say, "Yeah, I agree."
That's a better way to put it. Because Maguire,
we had a transfer committee for Brendan Rodgers, and we said to Brendan Rodgers, like, the best player the transfer committee ever bought was Roberto Firmino. That's not a Rodgers signing; that was a club signing, and that's done so that if it doesn't work out with that manager, when you bring in a new manager of a better quality, he's got something to work with. Sancho's an unknown quantity. It's a hell of a lot of money to pay for a player that realistically in the Premier League we know nothing about.
It's the potential though, isn't it? And he's young, still 21. So I think he'll come good anyway. Just a matter of time.
Evening, Jaguar. Yeah, so back onto Liverpool before we get into them. I'm trying to hang out here because I know Bobz wants to come on, so we'll do this for another 10 minutes, then we'll get into the squads. Liverpool away at Leeds on Sunday. Are you confident? Thoughts on that one?
Adrian.
Confident, yeah. he whose name should
We
never
might
be
as well end
spoken
this
out loud.
now. We might as well. We
Yeah.
might as well just all go home, right? Turn it off and do one now. Jerry's killed us all.
That guy, man, I can't believe
You know
it.
what? I'd kind of hypnotize myself into believing we would do okay, and then you mentioned that, Jerry, and then it's kind of like blowing everything up, man.
So you know what as well, like Leeds are good. Well, based off last season, they're very good at Ellen Road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're very
Home
open,
crowd, like with the crowd and stuff. Ellen Road can be an intimidating place to go. Look, in general, I'm confident because look, even if the Brazilian players are missing, they're going to be missing probably their best player in Rafinha, and I think we've still got enough weapons that can hurt them.
Rafinha's a massive.
Yeah, but they got Dan James though. My guy.
Come on, man. Rafinha.
You want him? You want him back, Joe?
Listen,
No.
Jerry. If Aaron Ramsdale hadn't gone to Arsenal for 30 million, Dan James would be Aaron Ramsdale right now. With this
It's true.
Yeah. So Leeds will probably make it difficult for us. But I was listening to a couple of Leeds fans talk about how they played towards the end of last season, and they were a bit down in general because they were saying that look, they kind of stopped to some degree creating many chances, and they started letting in a lot more opportunities. So I haven't seen them. I caught a little bit of the end of last season. I haven't watched them this season, so it'll be interesting to see how they do without Rafinha. He'll be a huge miss. Bamford had a really good season last season, comparatively speaking. Like I think you got 18 goals in the Premier League, which is good return. But I still think we've got enough to go there and get the win. Especially if we get an early goal, I think that will kind of hold us in good stead to get the result. But the big question mark of this for this fixture is what's going on with these Brazilian players? And I would have thought by now we would have had some kind of clarity, or we would have known what the clubs are going to do.
I think the clubs know. They just haven't said anything. If you think about the statement that was made, so here's a statement that Brazilian FA made. We're going to approach FIFA to invoke rule number whatever it was. And we're going to say this player, this player, this player, this player, this player, this player, and this player cannot play because you didn't turn up. But because we like Everton, we don't have a problem with Richarlison playing. That's okay. So the moment they come out and say that, they undermine their whole argument. And if that was taken to a tribunal, that very statement in itself means, because what they're saying is if you play those players, FIFA will intervene and you'll get a 3-0 loss. That's the punishment for playing those players. You'll be awarded a 3-0 loss, and football has to listen to what FIFA says because it's the powers above everything. But that would never stand up in an appeal purely because of the comment about because Richarlison went to the Olympics and we quite like Everton, he's okay, he can play. That is absolutely mental.
And what happens if Liverpool are playing Leeds and both our Brazilian players play and Leeds Brazilian players play? I mean, do we both get a 3-0 loss for playing, even though we're playing each other?
Probably.
That's a good shout. That's a good shout. How do Liverpool actually line up midfield without Fabinho? That's going to weaken your defence. If we haven't got him, because Harvey Elliott's fit, it will be Thiago, Henderson, and Elliott for me.
Oh, is Elliott back here?
Yeah, he's fit.
Okay.
Keita's fit too. Keita's managed to get out on an expendable style plane and get out of Guinea, mate, and save himself, mate. He got like locked away, didn't they? All those players, they've got themselves in a bit of a predicament there, didn't they? So. But
I'd like to see Keita play in midfield potentially, but obviously it depends how much time he's had on the pitch or reacclimatizing to the UK after going to Guinea. So, but equally I'd like to see more of Elliott because he was great and it's been great this season for us already. So it'll be interesting.
He looks like a good little player, Harvey Elliott.
Yeah, he is. What's telling is that so young. Yeah. He's been playing above other players. He's getting in before. You could even say he's getting in before Thiago at the moment. And I think he understands what Klopp wants from him in the role. And for someone so young, that's really important because we're a very system-based team. So I think for someone that young to be able to do that, and it's just little things like they'll play the ball into him, and he knows he's being closed down, and he'll just bounce it off the outside of his foot around the corners of somebody. That's natural. You can't teach that. That's having awareness of what's going on around you, and that's quality. That is, and
that's just natural intelligence.
Good things are going to come from him. Good things.
He looks like a very good player. Is he English?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't want him going to World Cup. I don't want anyone. I don't want England, Liverpool players going
Why is
anywhere
that?
near it because I don't rate Gareth Southgate. I mean, he's got Trent, right? I know people say, well,
Do you
Reece
support
James,
England or not really?
kind of. I'm not
Mm.
massive. I've never been any big fan. Do you know what the problem was? And I'll give you a bit of a background.
I find that a lot about Liverpool fans.
Yeah, we'd
There's
rather be
United fans
Irish.
as
Yeah.
well. Don't
Yeah.
worry. United
We'd
fans.
rather be
Yeah,
Irish,
true.
mate. We'd rather they dragged us over to Ireland and we were bolted on there, mate. To be honest with you, but the thing is, we've always had problems that from right back from when he played Peter Shilton over Ray Kennedy. That was absolutely mental decisions. There's no comparison. John Barnes, who's arguably one of the best players Liverpool have ever had, used to go away for international duty and be missing for 3 months because he'd pick up an injury. I think club football has gone on and gone so far past international football. I watched the Euros and I have to admit I wasn't really planning to, but I really enjoyed it. I think I enjoyed
You
it
kind of
because
fell into that.
yeah, and the reason why is because there's no financial pressure, there's no league table pressure. It's not the same as club football. There was a freedom to it, and it was open, and games of football were expressive, and there were like loads of games that finished like 4-3 and 5-4 and stuff, and who doesn't like that? But I just whilst Gareth Southgate's really, really good at getting people together and making a club environment tactically, he did what Pochettino did on the other night, and he sat there and he watched a very difficult Poland side struggle to break them down. The goalkeeper's got to do better for Kane's shot for a start. Okay, it's a great shot, takes it early and doesn't give the goalkeeper a chance to set himself. They shouldn't be conceding a goal like that. And then they start the dirty tricks and they start the nibbling and the picking and all that stuff.
There was no subs.
He just kind of stood there like that, looking like passive, as if to say, "I'll take a 1-1 draw away to Poland." Sorry, and I'm just thinking to myself, "Where's your minerals?" As use Jerry's saying, "Where's the minerals?" You know, he didn't do anything to change it, and I don't even think he's using Jack Grealish properly at the moment either. So I'm not a massive fan of Southgate. If Harvey Elliott's not around him, I don't have a problem.
I'm the same. I'm not a fan of him, but I do love that team.
Yeah, when it comes to I like the players that we have now.
Yeah, I love the players, man. Like every single one of them, bro.
Yeah. When it comes,
I'll be honest. I cheered when we scored in the final. I did jump out the chair in the pub and cheer.
When Luke Shaw bagged, I couldn't believe. I almost came to tears.
When I look at that team, you know, when people talk about does the team on the pitch represent you or represent England or whatever, and I look at that team on the pitch and I think, yeah, that, you know what, that does represent me. Those people, those players, regardless of what team they've come from, I feel like their values and even like the way they want to play football and stuff, that resonates to me. I don't know whether that's the same. I feel the same way about Gareth Southgate because I just think that he's a little bit. I don't want to say it's harsh to call him a coward, but I think some of the football that we play is a little bit cowardly, and I think if he let those players off the leash a little bit more,
express themselves,
the sky's the limit.
Can I just say thank you, Rakesh, because at the start there, right, you nearly convinced me to be an England fan, because that was really heartfelt. And I'm looking at those players thinking, actually, I agree with him. And then you said Southgate's a coward, and I'm back to not really being an England fan anymore, mate. So I'm okay with that. That's cool for me.
You know what? For me, I just don't want. I see this crop of players coming up. And I just think, let's not waste our prime years.
Yeah, don't miss the ball.
100%.
Don't waste it, man.
We've been here before with the golden generation, haven't we? And we didn't do it.
Don't waste this generation on him. Like I think World Cup. I think we should get someone else. I think that's.
Go on. Who would you have? Who would you have?
Do you know what? For me, I've always been one of those guys where I've always said we should get a foreign manager, but then at the same time, right? What Gareth Southgate has done so well is he's drilled it into these players of what it means to play for England. Foreign manager ain't gonna do that.
Yeah,
you're gonna have you're gonna have that bit missing. So I would keep it English, and if I'm keeping it English, I'm going to Graham Potter.
I would have been.
Yeah, I like what he tries. I like the way he plays football. I agree, but I think he's a candidate for the Arsenal job too.
No, forget that.
Actually,
you want to when you go Brighton, you want to step up, not step down. Man.
Wow.
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 Yeah.
Shots fired. Shots fired.
Brighton are in a better position than they are right now. So
Yeah.
Hey, jump on that one, Ash. Tell me what you think about that.
England right now shouldn't do Belgium, in my opinion. In my opinion, Belgium should have won the World Cup. They won't win anything anymore. I see a lot of people said after the Euros, that's it. This England team. No, I don't think so.
Nah, we still got gears to go, man.
I think there's more than one gear. There's two, potentially three more gears that this team could go. Obviously, Kane is getting on a bit, but then you've got Greenwood. That core is going to hot up. There'll probably be changes in that midfield. I don't think that Rice and Phillips are the right pair. So I think they've still got a long way they can go. This team.
Cool. I think that about covers the fixtures. Good little opening there. So now we're going to get into our player picks, and we're going to start with managers. And as I said before, to my right,
Bob, is he joining?
He's been playing football, so if he joins like 20 minutes in, I'll just tell him to pick, and I'll tell him he can't have them if you guys have already picked them. So we'll try and fit it in, mate. But he's playing five-a-side or something. I don't know. Anyway, managers. So we'll come to you, Ash, because you're first on the order. So this could be really funny because I think I know you might go with, and I think
Jerry knows who I'm going to pick as well.
I think Jerry's gonna have an absolute meltdown, mate.
This is not fair.
Yeah, go on, Sir Alex Ferguson.
Oh my days, blood.
It's all right. You can take the next best thing, man.
This is not fair.
Steve Bruce.
Careful, Rack, because it's your pick, and I'll put that in there, mate.
Is it my pick next?
Yeah. Goes that way, goes that way. Oh, no. Well, actually, we'll do it the other way, because if he picks our man, then you're going to be goose start. This is even funnier.
Nah, that's fine. I don't mind.
Jerry.
Yes. Yeah, I'm going to have to go Pep.
Oh, God. Rack, you got away with it, mate. You'll be Rack's buzzing now, aren't you, mate?
Look,
is he?
I mean, Pep.
He's going to say Klopp, innit? He's going to say Klopp.
Of course he is.
Yeah.
He's not going to say Jose. He's going to say Klopp.
Funny enough, I was actually going to say Pep because even though I think Klopp is a better manager, I think
what?
Not just. Well, no, just because I think that Klopp can do it with you give him any tools.
Yeah, less than players. Yeah.
But at the same time, Pep, if you give Pep the best ingredients in the world, I'm a purist in the sense I love the way Pep plays football. And
I agree with that, man. Pep's Barcelona is the best team I've ever seen.
The best. Yeah. I've never seen anything like it.
But yeah, Klopp will be my choice.
You know what, lads? I'm gonna jump in on this. I can't sit and watch you do this.
Go Jose. Go Jose, Steve.
I can't go Jose.
Who else?
Jose.
It's got to be Wenger.
Oh, Arsenal. Yeah.
Oh no, don't know. I might go Graham Souness.
I've got Roy Hodgson.
Just to trigger Jerry, I might go Graham Souness, then pick Pogba in my team as the lazy one, eh?
Oh, mate.
Damn. I've got to go Arsene, haven't I? He look what he did when he came. Not what he did at the end, but what he did when he came, and his invincibles and all of that stuff. Yeah. Wenger has to be for me. Cool. Right. So, Jerry, a goalkeeper, please.
Oh. Yeah, this is tough, you know. I know, obviously, the obvious one for United, but for me, I'm going Petr Cech.
Oh my days, man! I was taking it.
I'm going Petr Cech, man. That guy. I remember seeing him for the first time. This giant. Who is this guy, bro? Like unknown, most clean sheets, giant, fills the goal. The headband came on, and the rest is history, man. So for me, yeah, my pick.
Right, guys, before we go on, robotics, that's what this is. So what we're doing, robotic, is we're going to pick 4 Premier League sides. Our choices. Now, there can't be any duplicates. So no one else can pick Petr Cech. And if someone else picks a right back, no one else can pick that right back. And then at the end of it, we're going to pick who's got the best defence, who's got the best midfield, who's got the best attacking lineup, and who's got the best 11. The manager's thing was just a bit of fun just to kick it off. But there cannot be duplicates, so we will have 4 different sides. And you can't say Arsenal Van Persie and Man United Van Persie. Van Persie is Van Persie.
Yeah.
Okay, so it would be Urak to come with your goalkeeper, please.
All right. So, I mean, I tried to put this together not just to picking good players, but also players who could potentially play together. But I was hoping that someone else would pick Schmeichel before. Would pick someone else other than Cech, because I was hoping Cech would, even though he's not necessarily the best on the ball, he's probably been the best goalkeeper in the Premier League era. Schmeichel, who's going to be my pick, probably doesn't fit with that ethos that much either because he wasn't great on the ball. But I would say that even though Cech over a long period of time was probably the best goalkeeper in the Premier League era, I think some of the heights that Schmeichel reached were potentially higher. I don't think. I think Cech was better over a 10-year period or whatever. But Schmeichel, some of the performance, I still remember the game that Newcastle lost 1-0 to Man United when they were like 13, 14 points clear in the Premier League, and Schmeichel was incredible that game. So
I'm gonna put my 2 pence. Schmeichel's the best goalkeeper I've ever seen. Any era, any goalkeeper, any time, at all. It was Neville Southall before Schmeichel for me. Neville Southall was something else.
For me, it's Iker Casillas, man.
You think so? Yeah, I mean,
either him or Neuer, one of the two.
In 2009, Real Madrid came to Liverpool and we dismantled them 4-0. And but for Casillas, it would have been 10. Seriously, we absolutely gave them a pasting.
Yeah, it's got to be, for me, it's Casillas or Manuel.
Okay, that's fair enough.
But,
I think Buffon's in the conversation because the guy just didn't make mistakes.
100%.
Yeah. But Schmeichel for me, please.
Cool. That's the one I wanted. So thanks for that, Rack. I might disconnect you in a minute and steal your player. Ash, who are you going for in goal, buddy?
Are you going to stay, or are you going last every round?
I'll go last every round.
You sure?
Okay.
Yeah, I can do it.
He likes a challenge.
I'm going to go with Van der Sar, man. Edwin.
Yeah.
Van der Sar.
Top keeper. Yeah.
The only thing Van der Sar was one of the players that I considered, but I'm like, he obviously did well at United, but he was crap at Juve for 2 years, and then they binned him off.
Premier League.
I know, but then he went to Fulham, and he was at Fulham for like 4 years, and he was.
Yeah, but he did well there.
No one really tried to get him out. I think his contract expired at Fulham, and then United got him on free. So
I think it was 35 when we got him or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm like, those first 4 years he was there, he wasn't. I don't know.
No, but United
try to be better. Just me being better.
He was like the missing piece, but we had Tim Howard, Barthez, Carroll.
True.
We had some
Bosnich.
Jerry. That thing where Carroll got the ball and it was like 6 yards over the line. And
that was ridiculous, man.
As an aside, have you heard Lee Sharp's story about the Eric Cantona kick?
No.
So basically, Lee Sharp tells a story. It's just an aside. In his evening talks, he says, so we go back in after the game, and he's like, Giggsy, you gave the ball away. What the fuck did you do that for? So you did this for? Eric, you can't be doing that, sunshine. That's all he said.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's mental. Right, okay. So I'm going to go with safe hand Seaman. Only because it was a choice between him and Alisson, and I don't think Alisson's been in the league long enough for me. Hasn't done enough over a sustained period of time. There's 4 really good goalkeepers. I mean, as long as Naeem's not playing and Ronaldinho's not playing, my keeper's all right. So, I can live with that one. So it would be Rack to come with the right back.
Right back.
Yeah.
Okay. Controversial. Trent.
Oh.
When you said controversial, I thought you were going to say Gary Neville, and I promise
it's been 3 years.
I promise you, Rack, I would have ended the broadcast if you'd done that.
No, look. The thing is, like I said, part of the rationale behind this team is that I wanted to play a certain way, and it's probably similar to how how Liverpool play.
That's fair.
And
That's
even
fair
though like Trent has way more to prove, but he's also proved so much already that I feel that for how I want to play and the what he's exhibited, like some of the stuff that he's done has been absolutely unique. Like he came in his first full season and smashed the assist record, and in his second full season he beat his own record. So he smashed that record 2 seasons in a row, and I envisage him more as like a dictating play and attacking fullback, which obviously in my opinion, he's done better than any fullback in
And I think
the
that's
league.
a great shout. But I want to go back to something that Ash tried. Ash, you made a comment when he named him. Was it something like it's been 3 years or something? You said.
Yeah.
Expand on that for me while we're doing that.
I just think that it's. I mean, for me, when we're picking all time, I think it's got to be someone that's done it for a longer period of time, man.
Yeah.
See, this came up on the terrace earlier this week, and a Liverpool fan said he's revolutionised the position of the right back, and he's been absolutely dug out for it by everybody. Yeah, no, he hasn't. Right, and I'll tell you why. And I'll give you my thoughts on that because this is really interesting, and Usman's dying to hear my logic behind this.
Yes, I see.
So, yeah. So he's not revolutionised it. He isn't playing as an authentic right back. He is only bettered by Kevin De Bruyne in the last 3 seasons for assists. Only De Bruyne has got more than him. So when he sits down in the manager's office at the start of the season, we're not saying to him, your job is to stop goals going in. He's being told to create. He's being told to take risks. He's being told to play more balls into the final third. Look at the pass he made for Mane's goal a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
We're not judging Alexander-Arnold, and Liverpool are not judging Alexander-Arnold as an authentic traditional right back. They're judging him as a number 10 in a 2 shirt. That's the way that he's been looked at by Liverpool. So all of the people that are jumping all over what the lad said, saying he's not I know what he was trying to say, but it just came out wrong. He's not playing as an authentic right back. He's
interpreting the role differently. Yeah,
it's very similar.
Totally different.
It's very similar to how Dani Alves' game was, but I think Dani Alves was used more in a link-up kind of play, 1-touch, 2-touch, whereas Trent is more focused on delivery into the box.
But I agree. But what Alves did, Alves was really good in the sort of final third for Messi because Messi was
the link-up between him and Messi
was ridiculous. But Trent is Liverpool's playmaker. Our right back is our playmaker. So when we say he's not revolutionised the position, no, he hasn't revolutionised it. Take it to no one else will do what Trent does. If we hadn't sold Wijnaldum, we'd have Robertson doing exactly the same on the other side because that's what Liverpool do and that's what Klopp wants. Klopp has gone out and said to his fullbacks, "You're the risk takers. You take the risks." My midfield 3 of Fabinho, Henderson, and Wijnaldum when we won the trophies,
creative.
They're not sexy footballers. They're not exciting. They are ridiculously efficient at what they do. So you guys out wide, you go and make the play, you go and make the assists. I think they got 40 assists between them one season. It's absolutely ridiculous. So what we need to look at Alexander-Arnold and say is, if you're going to judge Alexander-Arnold as a right back against someone like Aaron Wan-Bissaka and you're going to look at defensive qualities, then I can't have that conversation because if I'm buying a right back to defend, I'm not buying Alexander-Arnold. Simple as.
Yeah, that's true.
If I'm buying a right back to play further forward, sorry, Rack, I'll come to you in a sec.
Yeah, go on,
to play further forward and dictate play from the right back position, which sounds nuts, but he is doing it, then I'm going to sign Alexander-Arnold because I'm going to sit him down in the office and say, I've got Jordan Henderson behind you when you're going forward. I've got Matip sitting behind him. I've got Fabinho who can come across, and Alisson's pretty quick off his line. Don't worry about what's going on behind you. That is not what we're asking you to do. But
I agree.
He plays on the right side of the defence, and he will tell you this himself because he has in an interview. He finds it easy to play there because there's nobody behind him. When you watched him for England playing right midfield, he struggled a little bit at times because it had to be 360. You had to think 360. And you don't have to do that when you're a right back because usually the only person behind you is your centre back. So let's not have the conversation about Trent being a GOAT fullback because he's not a fullback that, as you or I would come to know that guy being, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I agree.
Rack? Sorry, mate. I might have stolen a bit there, but I needed saying.
It was just that obviously the whole idea behind my team would fall flat if I didn't get Trent though, because like the
That's
other
fair
fullbacks that I've
enough.
got, if I would have like the rest of my shortlist, I've got like Aspilicueta and Neville, who are two much more conventional right backs, and having Aspi obviously would, even though in my opinion he's the best one-on-one defensive right back in the Premier League era, I think that my system wouldn't really work with him. So yeah, I was lucky I got Trent.
Good shout. And in answer to Big Ron's question, Trent doesn't go past very many people. I had this conversation with Bobz about a year ago. Trent plays his crosses from a very similar position that David Beckham did. He doesn't actually engage the fullback. They go in diagonal from much deeper. So he's not a winger and he's not going to beat a man. He's just a ridiculously good user of a football, and I totally get why Rax picked him in his formation.
Who's next?
You, Ash.
Yeah, it's funny Rack was saying that because he was going to be my number one pick. Aspi, that's me.
Solid, brilliant player.
I think there's three names who are the three best right backs in history. I think everyone knows who they are, but yeah, for me, he's top two.
Well, Jerry, do I need to put anything other than Neville in the box there, mate?
Nah, no way. I've never read Gary Neville.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm not picking him either.
Gary Neville will admit it himself.
Yeah, it's just the longevity that he has as a player. He had a decent cross, but nah, not for me. Yeah, I'm gonna have to pick Ivanovic then, man.
That's another good pick.
He was a beast at right back. Like, obviously, he centre back by trade, but moving to right back, the important goals he scored as well just adds to his, talent. So
there's one name, but I wonder if Steve's gonna pick it that I'm thinking of.
Well, mine was Ivanovic. Steve, what do you say?
I've got a name in my mind, but anyway, go on, Steve.
I'm just having a think now, guys, because you guys have stolen all the obvious ones.
Are you doing yours on the fly? You haven't.
Oh mate, I didn't prepare for this because if Bob's had been here, we'd have been here all bloody night doing 5 of them, wouldn't we? So this is off the hook, mate. This is Man United style. This is off the cuff.
Freestyle.
Sorry, Jerry. It's just too.
It's
too
all right. I
too
agree.
easy.
Yeah.
See, I don't like Lee Dixon, and someone else has mentioned Lee Dixon.
I was going to say Lee Dixon was the other person on my list.
I thought Lee Dixon was just.
I'll say mine after he's picked it.
Do you know what? I'm going to go for another Invincible, and I'm going to go for Lauren. Because he never did anything wrong ever as a right back, mate. He never stepped out of line once.
Was Zabaleta.
Yeah, good shout. I think Lauren defensively was better than Zabaleta. Zabaleta was good on the front foot. You often saw Zabaleta overlapping, and I think that's why they went for Walker, because Walker does a similar thing in terms of getting forward.
Mm-hmm.
What Walker tends to do is occupy other defenders by making his runs. You don't give him the ball. You allow him to make the decoy, and then you switch it inside. And Walker's gone for a hot dog, and you've gone down and scored in the other end. So, I'll go for Lauren because I don't think the guy ever did anything wrong, and he was invincible. So, I just might pick the entire Invincible squad, and I've done with it.
What are we on centre back now?
Centre back, and it's who is it?
Is it me? I don't know. Who went last?
Ash went. Are you not having you're definitely going last?
I went goalkeeper first. Who went right back first?
Me. But it was.
Yeah,
I went manager.
So it's you, Jerry.
Jerry, it's you.
So centre back, number 1.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go for my guy, man. Rio.
Fucking hell, man.
It has to be, man. It has to be Rio Ferdinand. I mean, ball playing.
I totally agree. We'll get to that because I think someone else will say that. See, that's not right, Robotic, because you can't go on longevity. If you're picking on longevity alone, this is flawed. Totally.
Rio
can't deny that man's skills.
Rio, I mean, not revolutionized the game, but he was like the first that I saw. Obviously, he was a midfielder by trade when he was younger, and his composure on the ball, always stays on his feet, doesn't need to dive in. Like Rio, listen, my favorite centre back in the Prem, hands down. So it's a no-brainer for me, man. Rio Ferdinand.
Right. That is a great shout. Gary Neville was an irritant to everybody else other than Manchester United, and he was a decent captain. But if you look at every single goal Manchester United conceded, Gary Neville's playing everybody onside all of the time. And
Yeah.
let's not talk about when he got spun by Edmundo in the World Club Championship, which was embarrassing. It's what you do in the playground: knock the ball around one way, run round him, and score. That was. I don't talk. Gary
The
Neville
only thing I'd
was.
say is that I'm obviously not Neville's biggest fan, but that link up he had with Beckham was pretty great. To be fair, like the overlapping fullback, he just because of the position he took up, he would attract the fullback out a little bit further wide, and that gave David Beckham that extra couple of yards to get that cross in from deep. And I think them two worked in tandem really well.
David Beckham could take the top off a bottle with that right foot, mate. It wouldn't matter where Gary Neville went. You know what I mean? It was ridiculous ability. So it's Ash for the next choice now, mate. For your centre back, please.
I was going to take him, I'm going to take
Judas.
I'm going to take, and I don't like him as a person.
I was about to say, dude, if you
Who's he going for? John Terry.
Oh gosh.
Do you know what? I'm in two minds, man. I've got the names here. Do you know what? I'm gonna take this guy just because I loved him. Yeah, I'm gonna take Vincent Kompany.
Mate, do you know what? Big respect here for not going with the old John. Remind you, Jerry's going to take him straight away, so it makes a difference.
I can't, man.
Yeah, I think for me, Vincent Kompany, I just love the guy, man.
Yeah, quality, great captain as well. Absolute leader,
proper
mate.
leader.
Absolute great shout, that mate. Rack.
Virgil.
Pardon? Virgil.
Yeah.
Oh.
Right, I'll tell you this now. I've watched Alan Hansen, who was arguably I've seen him live more times than I care to remember. Virgil van Dijk does not have a weakness, but the only thing that people are laughing and saying that he shouldn't be in these things is because he's been at Liverpool for 3 years and not 10.
No, he definitely should be in this, 100%. Like although he plays for Liverpool, like you said, I don't see a weakness in his game. He's fast, he's dominant, can come out the ball. His long range passes immaculate. Like, yeah, he's serious. He's serious.
Yeah, well, I am gonna pick John Terry because I need a leader in my back four, and despite the fact that what he did in and around the club and his, the man, he's not a nice man, let's be honest, right? But he was a decent footballer, wasn't he? So let's take the Wayne Bridge stuff and all that aside, and if you want a centre half who can read the game and is a threat in the opposition's box, John Terry would be right up there. Big Ron, there's no way Hippie was better than Van Dijk, mate. In the words of John Henry, what are they smoking over there?
Hippie, get out of here, man.
He was good.
Hippie was great.
Hippie was great against Van Dijk, man.
Hippie was great against Ruud van Nistelrooy, and the reason he was great against Ruud van Nistelrooy is Ruud van Nistelrooy ran like he was carrying a fridge. The man had no pace, but put him up against Thierry Henry, and Sami Hyypiä was the guy carrying the fridge. So two different types of players. He was good against static number 9s, although Van Nistelrooy could finish, nobody could question that. He wasn't massively mobile, and he certainly wasn't quick. So he would look good against players like that, but against the quicker ones, he'd get turned inside out and ruined because he was too big to get going. Right, so who was first on that last round? Was it you, Jerry?
It was Jerry.
So the second centre-back pick comes to Ash.
Second one, yeah. I'm going to go with... I don't know if I should go with him or him. I know who Jerry wants to pick.
What would you mean, bro?
You know what? Yeah,
just playing mind games.
He wants to have that Man United partnership, innit?
Listen, if anyone picks Nemanja Vidic, I lose all respect. Liverpool targeted Nemanja Vidic. You cannot be the best centre back.
You know what I'm going to take? Yeah, I'm going to take Ricardo Carvalho.
Wow, good shout.
I want to swear so bad now, mate.
Respect. No, Carvalho was
that one of your picks, Steve?
It was. I was going to have Carvalho and Terry alongside each other, mate. That would have been.
That
boss,
was a
wouldn't it?
solid partnership, man. That was a solid partnership.
It was Mourinho signing.
Yeah. Rack.
Uh,
Oh no, it's Jerry. Jerry, sorry, Jerry.
Sorry, go.
My apologies.
You know what? It's not even his partner. I'm going Yap Stam.
Oh man,
I'm going Yap Stam.
Fuck.
I know he wasn't there
Stam.
that long, but he was scary. When I
He
first
wasn't there. He was there like 2-3 years.
yeah, but still, when I saw him for the first time, I said, "Who is that? Bald head, no nonsense, stuck in." For me, obviously, Vidic, like you said, the episodes of Liverpool kind of taints his game a bit. But Stam for me, no nonsense. Him and Rio, perfect blend.
If only he hadn't written that book, he'd have been there for a bit longer, wouldn't he?
But Fergie always says he regrets. That's his one regret in management. So, but for me, yeah, Yap Stam, man.
For me, Stam was the best Man United centre back that I've ever seen play. Like I rate him above. And the thing is, he came in with that 10 million price tag, which I think was the world record at the time, and he just dominated the Premier League. For while he was there, he was unbeatable. And obviously, I hated it, but you got to give the guy respect. I mean, when he left, I was well happy he left because I was like, why are they getting rid of their best centre back?
Trouble winning. He was hard to defend, mate. But yeah, that's my pick, man. Stam.
Hard as nails, he was, mate. Hard as nails.
Yes.
He could scare the ball, never mind the opponents. Right, Rack, who are you going for, buddy?
Ash is not going to like this one, but I'm going to go with Sol Campbell. Lightning fast, brilliant in the air. If you talk about pace, if you're playing that high line,
there was no way I was picking him.
No, I know.
Bro, we could have had 10 people doing this draft, yeah, and I would have picked Sylvain Distin over him.
But yeah, look, Campbell, brilliant in the air, lightning quick. If you're playing a higher line of Virgil and Campbell, you've got the pace, you've got the recovery pace, and he wasn't the best on the ball. He was a leader, but yeah, Campbell and Van Dijk from our centre back pairing.
It's okay. Well, I'm going to pull a real rabbit out the hat because I've got John Terry, who we know can see the game. I'm going to put the quickest centre back because you'll never beat Des Walker, mate. Alongside him.
Yeah,
Des Walker's shout.
Big guy.
Des Walker was absolutely rapido, mate. Absolutely rapido. And with Terry, I've got to go for some pace. And I quickly Googled that to make sure he played in the Premier League. He played like 12 minutes in the Premier League or something. So I'm good without taking that.
Or something like that.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're on to left backs, and it is you, Rack, to pick first.
Robertson.
No, I did. I was tempted, but I went with.
Why am I fourth?
Well, come on, just say it, man.
He's from the same part of London as me. He went to a school near where I with Ashley Cole.
Oh, fuck off.
You take Ashley Cole?
Yeah.
I actually hate you right now. If you didn't, these two would have done, wouldn't they? So.
I'm quite happy with my defensive unit so far.
Well, Big Ron's questioning whether Des Walker played in the Prem, but Google thinks he did, so I'm going to go with Google. No offense, Big Ron. I'll do a steward's review, but I'm not really in this, so you'll have to just humour me, and we'll go with it. So it's Ash to pick his left back.
I'm in 2 minds now. Do I go for this guy or...
Just before you do, don't do that because he never won a game as a left back, did he?
Oh,
because when he pushed him forward, he turned into an absolute worldie, didn't he?
I'm going to take Dennis.
Erwin,
fuck off, man. No.
He was my second choice.
This guy wants a Man United backline.
Jerry's getting cheated out all of his Man United heroes.
How did you get Erwin, bro?
There is one there though. I think
there's definitely man. There's another.
There's another Manchester United.
Yeah,
out there.
Mr. I love this game. I have to, man. I mean, for 6 years, obviously his defensive duties weren't the best, but going forward, he was instrumental in our not treble. I mean, back to back Premier League title wins and obviously the Champions League. And yeah, I liked his personality. He understood Man United. He understands the history and the culture. So yeah, I'm not upset that I get to pick Patrice ever.
Ah, I wrote Phil Neville. I better change that.
Oh my gosh.
Go on,
Oh,
Steve. Use your pick.
You guys have absolutely drilled me there. Look at
Are
those
you
three
gonna have
names.
Robertson?
Do you know I'm tempted, but he's had 3 years and he's been good for 3 years. You know what? I'm going to go with Rock. Oh, now you're talking. Yes.
Winterburn?
Yes. Stuart Pearce. Psycho. No, not Graham Lasso, Ron. Ron, what are you doing to us? Ron's going to get blacklisted throwing in names like that. It really is, you know. I'm only kidding, mate. You carry on. So we come to who was first then? Was it you?
That was me.
It's Jerry,
So-
then me next.
Oh no, sorry, Jerry.
Jerry, one of your three midfielders, please.
Right.
Oh God.
Oh mate, you know what?
He's gonna take that. He's gonna take the ginger.
Nah, a bit controversial. I'm going Steven Gerrard.
Oh my days!
No.
No,
I don't care.
that was my pick, bro.
Steven Gerrard. Jebediah, is that his middle name? Jebediah Gerrard or something? Listen, for me, yeah, obviously when it comes to that debate with the three, I always have to back my team. But when I look at individuals, obviously the team accolades, you know, comes into it and whatnot.
Nah,
But
you've thrown me off, man.
Gerrard, yeah, different player, man.
Look,
Best midfielder in Premier League history.
totally agree, mate. Do you know what? I love these two, Rack. We could just sit here and smile, can't we, mate? Let's just
indulge, man.
Fuck. Bro, I was getting my whole team around this guy.
Jerry, I was assembling a winning team there, and you fucked it up for me, man.
Sorry, man.
You're not assembling anything now, Rack, mate. It's been deassembled by Jerry.
Stevie G, man. What a player.
What, is it me, yeah?
Yeah.
I'm going to have to do this very carefully now. Right. So in that position, man, we all know who the obvious names are. I'm going to have to take... I don't know, man. I mean, there's two names. Obviously, I don't want to say the two names in case.
Tell you what, I'll let him tell him.
What, sorry?
Oh, mate.
What, sorry?
I'll let this guy do it instead.
No.
He's got a couple of good names on there. I know what you're going to say.
Do you know what? I'm not going to say him. David Silva. Take me. Give me David Silva.
David Silva in the midfield three. Oh, Ash, you made a mistake there, bro.
No, I'm playing a 4-2-3-1.
All right, you're being creative, are you?
So David Silva is going to be my the guy behind the striker, the number 10 attacking midfielder.
He's a special player, in mate. Absolutely.
Special player. I wouldn't want to take the other guy because I just think in that kind of creative spark, I think David Silva is a better player.
Cool. Rack?
I actually did two teams because I was in short formation. I did do a 4-2-3-1, but with 4-3-3, I can't believe Gerrard's gone, but it's Yaya Toure for me.
Fuck! He's taken my other pick.
I just figured look, that was my choice because as like an attacking box-to-box player, I think he and Gerrard for me are top two. So, yeah.
Steve, please don't pick my next one.
I'm going to go slightly left field, guys, because I want someone in my middle of my mid three that was an athlete, was a good footballer, was
I know he's going to say. I know
I'm going for Michael Essien.
Yes! Come on.
Wow. Okay.
That's a good shout, though. He is very good.
Right.
Was he a proper DM though? I'm not sure if he
was an 8. He was an 8, mate. He was an 8. He
wasn't. Essien wasn't a DM.
No,
he was an 8, mate. He was boxing. I mean, that goal he scored against Arsenal.
Yeah.
Yeah, just because you said in the middle of your three.
Yeah,
that's why
but with a defence like that, mate, I'm telling my midfield to go and enjoy themselves, mate. So don't you worry about that.
Okay, bro.
It comes to you, Jerry. Now,
Nah, it's me.
Ash,
Oh,
Ash.
Jim. Ash, sorry, mate. Listen, he's all over this, isn't he?
I'm gonna take.
Wait, hold on. You picked David Silva.
Yeah, but he was second pick.
Our second
So
pick.
Oh,
Yeah.
second. Okay, cool. Yeah.
I'm gonna take one of the best midfielders I've ever seen, Patrick Riera.
What
Yeah,
is
he was great.
What is this?
He was superb, wasn't he?
He was unbelievable, man. Absolutely unbelievable.
That frees up. It's Rack now, isn't it? Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, Xabi Alonso.
No, I mean I've got this is my second 8, and there's 2 players. Obviously, I could go for someone who's more of a goal scorer, someone who's a bit more creative. I think for balance, it's better to go with someone who's a bit more creative. So I'll go KDB.
Oh.
That's a good pick, Very good pick.
Okay. Jerry.
I'm just praying. My next pick is not taken.
I'm going.
Ash is about to quit. It's tough.
Nah, that's obvious. That's obvious. You know what? Let me get Kante.
Oh my God.
Yeah, man. I have to. I have to, man. Let me get N'Golo. N'Golo has to be in there. Change the game, man. N'Golo Kante. Yes.
I'm just here for vibes right now.
I'm gonna take Fat Frank. Lampard goes in my team, boys. So I think it's you, Rack, now to pick.
Oh, big one. What do you mean, bro? There's no bias in this. I like Gerrard. He was great.
No, there you go. I'll leave that on there while you guys. So Rack, who's your third man, mate?
For me, as a pure defensive midfielder.
Please don't. I'm begging you.
Shit. Okay. I'm even reconsidering my choices now because I think one of the guys is better with the ball. But as a pure defensive midfielder, Claude Makelele.
Oh my days! That's it. That's my other pick gone.
Oh man,
I'm done with this, man. I'm gonna have to take someone I don't even want to take.
Right.
Right. Is it you, Jerry, next?
Is it me? Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. That's about Makelele.
Oh no, so Ash. Maybe it's Ash next.
I'm not. Wait, have you all picked 2?
I can't remember. I've picked my.
I've picked 2.
Third.
I've got Vieira and David Silva.
Yeah, I've picked 3. I got Makelele, KDB, and Yaya.
Yeah, I've got 2. My third.
Is it your turn though?
I think it is.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Because you were second last time, Ash.
Wait a minute. So I went. So me, Raf, Jerry, me, Raf, Jerry, me. It should. Did I go first for one of the midfielders?
No.
No, because you've been up.
Huh? So I went first for the goalkeeper, right?
I think we've lost our way a little bit. Okay,
no, so
you go next.
I think it's Ash's first
know
pick.
who it was. So I went for the goalkeeper. Raf went right back. Then it was Jerry centre back. Then it was me centre back. Then it was Raf again for left back. Then it was Jerry who went first for one of the midfielders.
Yeah.
Then it should have been me that went.
Right. Okay. Steward's inquiry. Makelele option for Rack's team is withdrawn because it's out of sync, and it's Jerry's pick.
What?
No, that's not fair. Right, so
Ash's pick. Sorry, so we got to do it fair. It's Ash's pick.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah. Fine. Go on.
No. I'll let him keep it.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay, you got a touch there, mate. You got lucky.
So whose turn is it, man?
Ash.
Oh.
He should have gone first, so he's definitely going second.
So did Raf go first with Makelele? Was that the first pick?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna go Roy Keane.
Good shout.
Good Keane and Vieira played together. That's an interesting combination. That could they play together? Could you imagine Keane swearing at Riera? They'd be squaring up to each other in the middle of the pitch.
I think they would. I think if they played together, they'd be unstoppable.
They'd destroy everybody, man. That would be a mad one.
Look. My turn, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, give me Scholesy, man. I mean,
Get that mediocre guy out of here.
Mediocre. I don't even need to talk to you. You already know what Scholes is on, innit? So yeah, give me Scholesy, man. I like Scholes. Full Scholes.
Oh my days! Not left me a lot, boys, have you? I'm going to put Carrick in alongside my two guys because I think Carrick could do that holding role for me.
Very underrated. Very.
Modric.
See, I think Modric was what he is more at Real Madrid than he was in the Premier League. He's matured into the player he is. To say Fabregas was a good shout, Ron. We missed a bit of a trick there.
Yeah.
He was on my list, but
I'm going to stick with Carrick because I've got SEN to be like sort of a marauder, and I've got Lampard to arrive late in the box. So Carrick will do what he did for me, what he did for Man United, which was sit and dictate play, which I'm cool with. So it would be Jerry now first, if I'm right, and it's the first of your
Finally, Jerry gets one of those men he wants.
We all know
I can see that smile.
Just
Look
say
at that
smile. Just say his name, man.
What?
You all know who you're taking. Come on,
It's front three, yeah.
Let's keep it.
Yeah, man.
Let's keep it real, man.
Ballon d'Or winner, Champions League winner, Premier League winner, CR7, man. It has to be.
Okay. I'm just gonna write Pinaldo in the box for you. Okay.
Whatever you want to call him.
Well, let's give him his dues. We'll go with his proper name, Ronaldo. Viva Ronaldo, just for you.
I'm gonna be singing that tomorrow all day.
I think it will be Rack to pick second, won't it? Because Jerry went second, Ash went second last time. So, although he should have gone first. So it's Rack first in your front three.
This guy obviously is controversial, but I think he's got arguably. This is that whole thing about legacy and all that kind of stuff, because a certain other man has obviously got a better Premier League legacy, but I think what he did in that single season in 13-14,
Suarez
single-handedly basically elevated us to almost winning the Premier League, and I think he's the best striker we've ever had at Liverpool. So yeah, Luis Suarez.
Good shout. Ash.
Wow.
Do you know what? I'm going for the right wing position, right? I'm not worried about striker. I could just put Rack in tears right now. Yeah.
And say Suarez.
I've made a mistake.
Yeah. But do you know what?
I don't know if anybody else would have gone for Suarez. I've made a mistake.
It's between two players, man. I think I'm gonna take this guy. I think Salah. I don't really see Salah as a winger like that, and that's not really how I want my team to be. I see Salah as basically a second striker. I don't know about you, but that's just how I see him.
He's an inside forward, isn't he?
He's an inside forward. He's not really a winger. But I think the way I want to play, the strikers that I have, I need a winger. So I'm going to take the best right winger in Premier League history. And I know he didn't do it for that long. But when he was doing what he was doing, no one's touched him. Gareth fucking Bale.
Oh,
yeah.
He was on my list.
I'm taking Gareth Bale right wing.
Oh, I can't believe it got to this stage. I'm going for the Premier League's greatest ever player, but no questions. Terence Henry.
Fuck's sake, he was my striker.
Thierry Henry is the best player to ever played in the Premier League.
I should have gone for Thierry Henry because I don't think anyone would pick Suarez.
I was so surprised you guys let Steve get Henry. Like, what the hell?
We've got to the foot. I reckon if Bobz was here, I still would have got it. But you know,
Steve, would you have picked up? Steve, would you have picked Suarez? If
No.
I'd have gone for Henry.
Gareth Bale.
See, I knew it.
You know why?
Okay, name
You know
your
why?
better right winger.
Because in a
than Gareth Bale.
4-3-3, Torres is a better shout than Suarez. For
Jerry,
me.
name your better right winger.
13-14, he played in the 4-3-3, didn't he? He had Suarez, Savage, and Sterling.
But Torres did his own thing, didn't he?
Wait, what'd you say?
I can put Ronaldo right wing.
Ronaldo, in his best year at United, wasn't a right winger though.
Yeah, I know, but he still did well there.
No, but who else is better than Gareth Bale on the right wing?
Mo Salah.
What am I doing now?
No, but that's what I said.
It's fucked on a
I don't really
formation
see
too.
Yeah, when you say it like that, then it's calm.
Gareth Bale's the
Rack,
next one.
isn't it? It's Rack, isn't it now?
Man, I mean, bollocks. I've messed up my bloody thing now up front. My whole system's fucked. So now I'm going to have to play Suarez in a 2, and I don't know if. Oh man. Fuck's sake. All right.
Take your time, Rack, it's okay.
I know. I'm sorry. This doesn't make for good YouTube. I'm gonna go for Alan Shearer.
That would have been my next one.
But I don't know if they work. But I think.
Well, they don't, mate. They did.
Yeah.
The first time Suarez went down, Shearer run over and kick him in the head. Like he did against Leicester, mate, where he booted in the head. Who did kick in the head? Now you can't argue with Shearer's goal scoring record, can you? He will be surpassed by Harry Kane at some point, purely because of length of Kane's just going to get them goals. But Shearer's arguably in the conversation for the top. Well, he is in the top table conversation, isn't he? So right, I think it's you, Ash, and then Jerry.
Right. This is a difficult one now. Do I go for striker? Or do I go for the other side? Do you know, when I think about it, this guy
I made a mistake again. Shit.
Can
I retract my choice?
Nah.
It's too late, man. It's too late.
Do you know what? When I think about it, yeah, this guy over the last decade has been arguably the best player in the league. And I think he'll suit. So I'm looking for that left winger type. I'm gonna go with Eden Hazard.
Shit.
But I respect your opinion. I can't give Eden Hazard the best player in 10 years in the league, mate, because
that's a long time.
In the last 10 years, he's definitely one of them.
No, he turned up one season in 3, mate. When he was good, he turned up one season in 3.
No way.
His numbers are not great, mate. His numbers
are not great.
They're not.
They're not, you know.
They're not, you know. Go and check them out. They're not great.
For a winger, his numbers are... Who's got a winger that's got better numbers in him? There's not many, is what I'm trying to say.
Mo Salah by probably twofold.
Yeah, but I think it's
what Hazard was really good at was ripping a hole in your team and playing in other people. So it's a good shout, but in terms of his numbers are not great. Go and read his numbers are not great. You'd be surprised. Another player's numbers are not great in terms of goals scored would be Ryan Giggs. You'd be surprised how few goals he scored in his career.
Yeah, I know, and his assists. Although he's top assist, he played a shit ton of games.
Played 917 games for God's sake. You know what I mean?
And he only got like 100 or something assists.
246, I think I read last week.
No way, not in the Premier League, was it?
No, overall.
Okay, in the Premier League it was 100 and something.
Yeah, but what he was another guy who created panic and created space for other people, and that was before football became as systematic as it is now. Yeah, so whose go is it? It's yours, Jerry, isn't it? Who said Shearer? Was that you, Rack? Yeah, it was.
It doesn't look good.
I can't believe I've ballsed it up. Oh man.
Yeah, striker. Well, striker's hard, man.
Is it?
But I'm going for Sergio Aguero.
Ah,
Yeah, man. I think after Henry, he's next up. Yeah, man.
Right.
Persistent.
Because I've got Thierry Henry in my team, I'm going for the ultimate player to play alongside Thierry Henry, Didier Drogba.
Oh,
Guy who turned up for all the big games, mate. You could never accuse him of not doing that. He
the
was
guy that scored 13 Premier League goals in 2 combined seasons. Is that the guy?
played everyone else in, mate. That's why Lampard scored 30 goals from midfield, mate.
Of course it was.
Yeah, well, I've got Lampard. You ask him. You ask him who laid on all his goals, mate. That's all right, Tony Bant's in it. So it's who's the last one to go first? It's you, isn't it, Jerry?
is it?
Yeah,
Jerry just went.
Ash went with, but no, first. You went.
I went first with Ronaldo.
Sorry, my apologies. Yeah, okay. So it's you, Ash, because Rack went first with Shearer.
This is the last position, right?
Before we debate it, yeah. Naughty that. That's proper naughty that, isn't it?
He don't rate.
I've got no choice to pick him.
Who's that?
He's going with Harry Kane, isn't he?
Nah, I'm not gonna go with Harry Kane. Harry Kane is top 10, definitely.
I'm going with Wayne Rooney. He's going with Wayne Rooney.
Man. I'm just trying to think in this team.
He's going with Rooney. What's that?
I don't want to go. He's on my list, but I don't know, you know.
What's the but? Rooney's one of the greatest.
Is he?
Of course.
Yeah, he's in the top 5 easily.
But as an out-and-out striker, is he?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I can only remember 2 seasons he played there and he got 30 plus goals in both of them.
That's because
he's on my list. He's on my list. The other one is another Man United striker.
Yeah, I was going to, but yeah, I know you're talking about. Yeah, I loved him, man.
You know, I loved him as well, bro, and I'm not even a Man United fan like that.
Yeah.
The thing is, yeah, the other guy is in the top 4 for goals per game.
I can't believe it.
And purely based. Fuck, man, this is a hard decision, bro.
The guy that Ash is going to pick, that's the answer to that question.
Do you know what? I'm going to take him. Ruud van Nistelrooy.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a bit of a surprise.
Come on.
Do you know what? Like, the way I have my team, I just need him in the box. That's it. And as a in the box striker, he's one of the best there's ever been.
Yeah, Van Nistelrooy is serious, man.
Serious striker. Rack shaking his head.
No. I still haven't got over the fact that I messed up my forward line, but
I think it's you, Rack, anyway. So,
I will go. They lack pace, man. But I'll go with Rooney, and in a kind of number 10-ish kind of style role behind Shearer and Suarez, or maybe as a Suarez and Rooney playing behind Shearer as a point man.
okay. I'll tell you what, the front lines are looking tasty, boys. We'll just see what Jerry throws in there now for his final choice.
I'm struggling on this one, you know, because I think most of you have a 2 striker and then the one in behind. Well, I'm going. I don't know.
There's 3 players that haven't been picked that I'm very surprised.
I'll probably grab one of them.
Wait, someone's picked Drogba, right?
Yeah.
Who
are you picking? Your striker or your?
Nah. So I've got Ronaldo, Aguero.
See, the next best thing would have been Gareth Bale on the other side.
Nah.
But he's gone.
Yeah. Now I wouldn't have picked him anyway.
That is nuts.
This is hard, man. You know what? Yeah. Yeah, give me Mo Salah. Give me Mo Salah, man. I mean,
Oh, you just killed me, man.
four seasons. The consistency, I can't hate it. He's
You just totally
He's
killed my
top,
team.
man. He's top.
yeah, the goals are ridiculous now, man. It's not a fluke. He's been doing it for a long time. So yeah, I need goals in my front line. So Ronaldo, Gareth, Salah, that's goals galore, man. I'm happy with that.
That was it for me. That was the one. That was so my player to have that, you know.
I'm sorry.
Is it no use to you now?
So it's just me, to finish. You look at the names down there. It's not difficult to know why I'm struggling.
Yeah.
There's 3 names that I've got that I'm surprised no one's taken. Let's see if Steve picks one of them. Let's see, man.
Yeah, there's a lot of strikers left. Or are you waiting for a right winger?
Not necessarily, because playing across the front 3.
Now he's got Drogba. He's got a striker.
Oh,
Right,
he's got Drogba and Henry anyway.
Henry will play off the left, mate.
Unreal player off the left, though.
Yeah.
Mo Salah would have been a perfect thing for that, wouldn't it?
That's what I wanted.
Man. I'm sorry, guys. Man.
I can't believe no one said his name.
Jerry says it and then he smiles.
What are you thinking about Ash though? I'm trying to think now.
Bro, there's 3 big names.
See, I wouldn't have Van Persie if that was one of them.
Nah, he's not one of them.
I think I know one. I don't know who else.
Oh man, help me out, lads, because I'm the last one. Go on.
Right, Steve, I'm going to give you 3 names, yeah?
Yeah, go on.
Robert Pires.
Nah, he wasn't one of mine.
He would have been on the left. He would have been left, but I can't use him on the left. On the right.
Gianfranco.
Oh, that's a yeah. Number 2.
Yeah,
he could be behind.
Gianfranco could definitely play off the right. I saw him do it many times.
And what was your third name?
Huh?
What was your third name?
Giggsy,
did you say?
The third name, no, it was David Ginola. But he would have played off the left.
Yeah.
See, Sadio Mane can play on the right as well. I know he's in a bit poor form at the moment, but for 3 years, that guy's been electric.
I'd go with Gianfranco, man. Zola is just, bro. I think
I'm going to go with Zola.
I don't think people give him the credit he deserves, you know.
The number 10, that's Zola. Like, he shouldn't have been that good how small he was. Like,
he was so good, bro. Do you remember?
Bro,
he was so good.
Right, guys, we've completed the teams, so I'm going to read out the teams and then we're going to go through. So Jerry's team in goal.
The winning team.
Petr Cech. Right back, Ivanovic. Centre backs, Ferdinand and Stam. Left back, Everett. So very Manchester United orientated there. Then he did the total Judas trick and picked Steven Gerrard. He went for N'Golo Kante, goals.
Shame.
And up front, he's got Ronaldo, Aguero, and Salah. So that's a tasty team. That I think we'd all agree that team would win the Premier League. All of these teams should win the Premier League, really, shouldn't they? Ash, your teams were Van der Sar, Azpilicueta, Company, Carvalho, and Irwin. Midfield 3, Silva, Vieira, and Keane. Up front, you went for Bale, Hazard, and Van Nistelrooy. Nice blend. Who was your third striker choice, mate? Sorry, Rack.
Rooney, Shearer, and Suarez.
Yeah. Right, just the cell's empty. So
Rooney,
your
Shearer,
team,
and Suarez, all vibes.
Yeah, let's go down one, innit?
Not a goal between them.
So Rack's team is Schmeichel in goal, and Trent, Van Dijk, Campbell, and Cole. That's a good back four, to be fair. Torre, De Bruyne, and Machiavelli in midfield, with Suarez, Shearer, and Rooney up top. Decent side again. I think all 3 of those teams wins the Premier League. So I've gone for Seaman in goal, Lauren, Terry, Walker, and Pearce in my back four. So solid again. Essien, Lampard, and Carrick. Carrick's probably for me the one. If I had time to think about it,
Do you know
would be
what?
in there.
I think that's. Say that again. Essien, Carrick, Lampard.
Yeah.
I think that's probably the best midfield.
No way. No way.
Who's your
And
midfield?
Gerard Kante and Scholes. Come on.
Okay, okay. Gerard Kante and Scholes. Yeah.
Sorry.
I don't think it's better. I don't think it's. I think it's.
It took about 2 seconds to change your mind. Then, cheers, mate.
I think it's on par with man.
Man like Ash just dissed me midfield completely in 2 seconds. And up front, I've got Henry, Drogba, and Zola, which is, I think, is a lovely balance. By the way, I think it's got what it needs. Right. So, we'll start with the goalkeepers, and we'll vote. Cech, Van der Sar, Schmeichel, and Seaman. Ash, who's your top goalkeeper out of those 4?
Cech all day long.
Jerry?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go for my pick in it. So better Cech.
You think Petr Cech's better than Schmeichel? That surprises me. Rack?
Yeah, Cech was my first choice. So to be fair, I'd go with Cech as well. But Schmeichel was my second.
Well, Schmeichel for me would be so. Petr Cech will be the goalkeeper, boys. Right backs. I don't think you're going to get this one across the line, Rack, somehow. Ivanovic, Azpilicueta, Alexander-Arnold, or Lauren. Ash,
I mean, they're all. None of them are particularly glamorous, right? Like,
I'm sticking with my guy, man. I think Azpi is the best on that out of all them.
Okay, Jerry.
I have to stick with mine as well. Ivanovic, man, like he
better than Azpi, bro.
I've never saw Ivanovic get spun like nah, man. He was solid as rocks.
He's not better than Azpi, man.
Solid as rocks. Important goals. That's the only thing that differentiates them two, like the important goals from set pieces and that. So I'm going Ivanovic.
See, the thing is, you guys are talking about qualities that are similar between your fullbacks. The reason why I pick Trent is a totally different reason. So, although both of them are better than Trent defensively, none of them even get in the same stratosphere in the attacking sense. Ivanovic used to get forward and get a few goals. I agree, but for me, we're all going to go for our own guys. So Trent for me.
And I'm gonna pick Azpilicueta out of that lot. And the reason why is the guy's not made a mistake that's led to a goal for 9 seasons. For 9 seasons, that's ridiculous. I mean, he's given away a penalty, but in terms of making a mistake that actually let someone in and scored, and I just think he's very consistent as well. But my preference out of all of that would be, I love what Trent's doing, but for what we're doing, Azpi fits the bill. So the first centre-back, the first 4 choices are Ferdinand, Kompany, Van Dijk, and Terry. So we'll go to Ash to pick his first choice.
It's got to be Rio, man.
Okay. Jerry?
Same, Rio Ferdinand.
Rack?
No change for me, Van Dijk.
And I'm going to pick Van Dijk as well. So as the host, I'm going to pull rank and put Virgil in there.
No, hold on. we might as well put both of them.
No, because they've got 4 more here, and I think there's.
Forget the other 4. We might as well.
No. Let's do that. Let's do that. Just put Van Dijk in.
And Rio. It makes sense.
No, Stam, Carvalho, Campbell, or Walker.
Nah, Rio and Van Dijk is calm.
Should we just do that then? Rio?
I actually agree.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. That's fair.
I would have but from that list, I would have taken Ricardo.
Carvalho, me too.
I would have taken Carvalho. He was just technically brilliant, defensively, playing out from the back, distribution, everything.
100%. And then the left back, guys, I'm just going to say, are we all in complete agreement? It's Ashley Cole.
Yeah.
No brainer.
The biggest shoe-in you'll ever get in any of these, isn't he? What player he was. Only man I know has pocketed both Messi and Ronaldo.
Yeah. Facts.
And I tell you, that takes some doing, doesn't it? Yeah. So, first midfield berth, and I know my choice here. Gerrard, Silva, Toure, or Essien? Ash?
So say the names again?
Gerrard, Silva, Toure, or Essien?
Gerrard all day long.
Jerry?
Yeah, Stevie G.
We don't need to do this, do we, Rack?
No.
Do you know, just Ashley Cole was the biggest shoe and scratch that this fella is.
But although I
right.
would have loved to see Yaya and Gerrard would have been.
That's scary.
It is.
But
Right.
it's-
So,
yeah,
second
that's
set
naughty,
would
man.
be. This could be interesting because something could happen here that would be mental, but would totally back social media entirely. The next choice would be Kante, Vieira, De Bruyne, or Lampard.
Vieira.
Yeah.
Because
You know what? It's weird because
so we've got Gerrard, yeah. So when you're looking at the kind of balance of the team, I'm not gonna have De Bruyne because they're too similar. I'm not gonna have Lampard; they're too similar. So for me, it's Patrick Vieira, man.
No, Kante. Nah.
you know it's weird because we did three midfielders, but some of us picked the defensive midfield first.
Bro.
Some of them picked him second. Some of them
Bro,
picked him
let's
third.
be honest, yeah. Patrick Vieira was a different level to Kante.
Do you know?
But
He's talking
I
facts
wouldn't
there.
even really say he was as much of a defensive midfielder
Patrick
though. Like,
Vieira
as
was
a
a
pure
different
defensive
They
midfielder.
played in the two, innit? And he was the one, Gilberto.
Patrick Vieira could be box to box.
Yeah.
He could be defensive. For me, Vieira is
He was
is
good.
level
He was
above.
good enough to do whatever you asked him to do, wasn't he? Let's be true about it.
Yeah, I can't argue with Vieira. I mean,
We're going with Vieira then, guys. Are we in agreement? Anyone want to put a last minute pitch in for anyone else?
No, it's fine.
I kind of
would-
alluded to if we'd gone for Lampard there, we could have ended up with Gerrard, Lampard, and Scholes. And how mad would that be, given that we see it every day on social media?
Yeah, so I'll go Vieira on that one.
So the last choice would be Scholes, Keane, Makelele, or Carrick.
Oh, this is interesting now.
Scholes. It's not interesting. It's hands down Paul Scholes.
I agree.
Has to be.
But this is what I mean. Like, if we're
I'm
really,
not going
we
to agree
should,
with that.
yeah. I think as a pure defensive midfielder, Makelele is the better shout. But so Scholes does something completely different. So yeah, I'm happy to go with Scholes because he was a great player too. But
If you go to Scholes tonight, there's no point. You just put him in.
Lovely.
Scholes would play on the left side of that three, where England forced him to play, but maybe not as wide.
Or you just put Gerrard in a 4-2-3-1. Scholes next to Vieira, and then Gerrard.
Yeah,
I'd have Vieira sitting and have Scholes off the right and Gerrard off the right and Scholes off the left, because Gerrard was a monster in that right midfield pocket when he was younger at Liverpool.
No, he was. I remember him. I followed him throughout his whole career.
Alex Ferguson, I remember watching on Soccer Box, and Gary Neville said that was the plan: stop you getting the ball in that area because you're unreal. Okay, so this is where it gets interesting, boys. This is where we might be on for a bit, having a few rows, because we've all got.
I'm sorry, man, but on that left-hand side, I'm sorry.
So left side of midfield attack, would be a choice between Ronaldo.
I'm sorry.
Stop it there. Stop it there.
Bale.
No.
Suarez. Hang on. Or Thierry Henry.
I'm sorry, but the king is called the king for a reason, and I hate to say it, but you put your bias to the side, and please tell me that in the Premier League, Ronaldo was better than Henry, and I know you're lying.
But he was.
Thierry Henry.
How?
Thierry Henry all day long.
Oh my!
Thierry Henry's not just the best left-sided. Hang on, Thierry Henry's not just the best left-sided attacker in the Premier League. He's the best player the Premier League's ever had. So that's not even a debate.
He's the best player in Premier League history.
What we might choose to do, Jerry, is look at what we did before with Rio Ferdinand and find a home for Ronaldo if we can't settle elsewhere.
Find a home for. Look what you're saying.
Mate. Thierry.
What?
Do you know what? This is it.
The man's homeless, you know.
Listen. Read that. That is absolutely spot on.
All right, but he won a Ballon d'Or in the Premier League. Who else has done that?
Michael Owen.
All right. He's not in this debate though.
You said he was
in the Premier League.
He's done that in what we're talking about right now.
But the thing is, Ballon d'Or's like you can't use it as a measurement.
Why not?
Because it's a different era
in the world.
It was in a different era though.
What? We're talking about the Premier League. It was in the Premier League ever.
Thierry Henry is the best player in the Premier League ever. Bar nobody.
I disagree.
Wait, where's he gone?
He didn't want to hear your
He'll
nonsense.
jump back in a minute. He's trying to get back in.
Sorry, Ronaldo goes on that left. Put Henry up front.
Nah.
No, we might play Ronaldo through the middle if we don't agree that there's a better option.
Nah, he was on the left. Bruv, Henry didn't even play on the left.
Yeah, he did.
No, we did.
We need Rack to reconnect. We need Rack to reconnect.
And he drifted to the left. He wasn't.
No,
the left
he did
winger.
drift to the left a lot, bro. He had Dennis
Yeah,
Bergkamp.
but he was playing up front though.
A lot of the times he was off the left and you had Bergkamp in the middle.
Nah, Perez was on the left. It wasn't Henry, man. Let's be real. Perez left wing, Lundberg on the right. You had Riera and Gilberto, Bergkamp number 10. Henry up top. He wasn't a left winger. Like, let's be real, man. Henry should go up.
He wasn't the central player either, mate. He really wasn't.
Oh, but that's where he started, though.
No, he started as a left midfielder for Monaco and Juve.
Yeah, from Monaco and Juve days, he wasn't a striker.
Rack, right, guys. Let's give Rack the floor. Rack has returned. Let's give Rack the floor. So it's either Ronaldo, Bale, Suarez, or Henry, and this you need just to go.
No, Bale was on the right.
You named him as your first choice, so it will be in this category.
Okay.
So of the four, Ronaldo, Bale, Suarez, or Henry, and they will play. We've agreed on the left side of the front three.
I can't believe this.
On the left side of front three, Henry.
Oh,
yeah,
it's done. It's done. It's done. You just broke Jerry, man. You just destroyed him.
Jerry, we'll find a home for him. Don't worry, man.
This is a farce.
No, it's not. Stop that now.
How? So Ronaldo's not in this team. Oh my days.
I actually think Ronaldo should be in the team, but I think we're going to have a further conversation about that.
Henry was a striker.
We'll put him in the team somehow.
Right. Okay. So, and this will probably be the thing because Hazard's come up as a central figure here, really, in the second one. So we've gone. If you look at the four names that are linked here, you've got Aguero, Hazard, Shearer, and Drogba. So Hazard's the kind of one that doesn't fit.
Yeah. So I'm going to go for say the names:
Aguero, Hazard, Shearer, or Drogba. And I'm going to make a suggestion here, boys. That's Cristiano Ronaldo's position all day long for me.
But he wasn't a striker in the Premier.
He was. For one season, he scored 32 goals playing through the middle.
Yeah, but I think we should swap them on Henry.
No, Henry didn't play through the centre, bruv. He really didn't.
So you're telling me Henry
the thing is, I think, Steve, he was a striker, but his starting position was more out wide. But I think his role was to be. I wouldn't say it's the same as Salah. I think that he quite often picked the ball up there, and from there he used to drive into the box. So.
Right. Well, I'm making a case to say of the four names we've given, because I'm not going to change my mind. I don't think the rest of the lads are. In how we and where and how high esteem we hold Thierry Henry. I hold Ronaldo in very, very similar esteem, and I think Ronaldo's your man to play through the middle against Aguero, Hazard, Shearer, or Drogba. Because I just don't think Shearer would work in.
If I was to pick one out of those, I'm taking Aguero. By the way,
I'd take Shearer.
Through the middle, I would take Shearer. But I'll take
Aguero.
So what Aguero? You've got two for Shearer. Who are you going for, Jerry? Out those four names.
I'm sticking to what I said. Forget those names.
No, that's not happening.
It has to happen. How? Henry and Ronaldo are hands down 1 and 2. Then we can figure out the right. It has to be them two. There's no other option.
Could you not play Ronaldo down the right?
Yeah.
So you've got Henry, Shearer, and Ronaldo. Guys, it doesn't get any better than that.
Let's just take that, man.
Yeah, I can't argue with that. Cool. Yeah.
Okay.
You happy now? Your guys in
yeah. Now because the way this was going, Ronaldo wasn't going to be.
Jerry was not.
He said, "Let's find a home for Ronaldo." That should be the title of this whole video. I can't believe what he said that.
I love it.
That's only because I think non-personal team bias that Thierry Henry is the greatest player the Premier League's ever had.
He wasn't
the number 9, mate. He wasn't.
He wasn't left wing because that's Perez. He was not left wing.
He started all of his runs at defenders from the left-hand side.
Yeah, that's because he could drift there, but he started up front and Bergkamp was right behind him. Let's be real, man.
It was a strange setup. He wasn't a number 9. He's not. Shearer's
No,
a line leader, isn't he?
He wasn't a number 9, man. He wasn't.
He was their striker, though. He was their focal point. He was.
Yeah. Well,
did we for right wing?
You can say Kevin De Bruyne has been Manchester City striker at times last season when they didn't have a striker in the squad.
Yeah,
but he really wasn't, was he?
Yeah, but their glory years was Aguero, the striker, isn't it? So.
Well, they won the league last year. That's pretty glorious, isn't it?
Yeah, true.
Right, so we're now going to debate the managers. Guardiola, Ferguson, Klopp, and Wenger. And you have to look.
There's no debate here.
Saf, you're going for Alex Ferguson, are we? What do you think, Rach?
You even shortened his name. Saf.
No, Jerry's taking
disrespect.
Hey, Rach, before you do this, remember the host gets the final vote, mate. So think about this.
No, look. As I said, Fergie. I don't want to say anything about Fergie I don't want to experience the wrath of Jerry. But like I said, in terms of football and in terms of the way they play football, I love the way Guardiola plays football. And even though Klopp is my guy, I will go with Guardiola just because his football is beautiful.
Ash?
When I look at that team, I'm thinking Ferguson.
Fair enough.
Jerry? I don't need to ask you.
Yeah, you don't.
We'll find a home from Jerry. Don't worry.
Yeah, Jerry's having Cristiano Ronaldo as the manager as well, by the way, boys.
Ollie.
Oh my! What?
I think also at managing big egos, I'm taking Fergie, man.
Yeah, man.
So it comes to me now. If I go with Guardiola, it'll be Guardiola, but I'm not going to. I'm going to go with Ferguson.
Yeah, right decision.
You are right.
So
that team does scream Fergie. To be fair, so yeah.
Yeah, it does,
That's
man.
a good point.
Give me a
I
second.
think if you had maybe Fabregas and a couple of other Zola, Fabregas, then it maybe starts to look like more of a
those technicians.
Here we go, boys. Are we ready? We're ready. The gaffer is Alex Ferguson in goal. We've got Petr Cech. I'm disappointed it wasn't Schmeichel, but there you go. Azpilicueta, Van Dijk, Ferdinand and Cole. That four's immense. Really pleased that Gary Neville didn't make it. Really pleased. Midfield 3 of Gerrard, Riera and Scholes, which is pretty tasty. And up front, I don't think you can top Henry, Shearer and Ronaldo. That's insane, that front 3. That's absolutely ridiculous.
Everyone freeze.
That's a strong side, isn't it, boys?
That's a good side.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm happy with that.
Would have been good to have Bobz in, but never mind. We'll do something similar. Another point.
So, you guys, did we all get 3 each? I got 3. I got
2, Aspi, and I got Aspi and Vieira.
Who did I have? I had Cech.
Oh no, I had the manager. I had the manager.
Oh shit! I don't even know how many you got then. Maybe I can't even remember.
I got one. Henry.
Cech, Rio.
Let me work it out. Give us a sec. I can tell you now.
Actually, I might have only got 2. Ashley Cole.
I must have got the most.
You must have, because if I got 2, Ash got 2, and Steve got 1, and you got all the rest.
Jerry, you got 5.
Come on. Come on. Yes.
I don't know how we deal with this, boys, because we're on a Manchester United channel as well.
It makes sense, man.
Which means I'm going to have Usman in my ear all day tomorrow telling me how Man United fans no more.
Come on.
Disgraceful.
No, but if we talk about our individual teams, I think my team won as well. I can't lie.
I think Ash pushes you quite close, mate.
The thing is, what I'd say is that if you look at pure goals, Shearer, Rooney, and Suarez, how many goals?
All occupying the same spaces.
This is the thing, right? This on paper, they'll all score like fucking 30 goals a season. The reality is that they're probably not going to play as well together, and that's why I was a bit annoyed, because I would have loved to have Salah and Henry in the wide spaces, but yeah.
I'll take a picture of this and publish it, boys. I'll put it on, get Usman to stick it up.
I got Aguero, Salah, Ronaldo. That's goals, man. That's goals galore, man.
Cool. Right, gents, just before we go, tell everyone where we can. 2 hours and 9 minutes. That's been a blast, that, lads. Thanks very much for coming on. We've had a great time there, haven't we?
Yeah.
That's good fun.
Tell us where you're at and what you're up to this weekend, mate. If anyone wants to drop in,
Yeah,
have a look.
you're part of the Never Foul team, host on Views from the Skywalk. So we'll be, so it's View from the Skywalk on Twitter. That's us. So we do weekly shows covering all things Tottenham, and yeah, catch you on there.
Spot on. Jerry, what are you up to this weekend apart from watching Cristiano Ronaldo warm up twice?
Don't say that. Don't say that, please. But yeah, the Twitter handle's on the screen, Jerry UTD _ United team talk on YouTube, just dropped a preview for the game tomorrow. And like Steve said, I will be at Old Trafford. Matchday vlog coming soon. Obviously, Ronaldo, please, I need to see you start. I need to see the celebration.
You want to see us too?
I need to. But yeah, man, it should be.
Enjoy it, mate. Enjoy it. Do you know what? I hope for your sake you have a good day out and he comes on and misses a penalty. But did I really say that? Rack, swiftly moving on from Ronaldo, where will we find you, bud?
On the terrace, I'll probably be making an appearance this week after the game. On the First 11 show with you, Steve, obviously on Mondays doing Liverpool show. Let's talk EPL, do a Liverpool show on that with a couple of the guys. And then that's my Twitter handle. You usually find me on Twitter. And Twitter Spaces is the thing that I've been doing a lot of in the last couple of months. Took a week off after the transfer window because it was a bit toxic. But
on the transfer window, I was doing Spaces every day.
Oh man!
So that are you with Niall on the Football League one? Then is that with Niall?
Yes.
Niall.
Yeah,
good lad.
Yeah, exactly.
So
we do a Liverpool show on there on a Thursday. So yeah.
Okay, so you can find me here on a Friday night. You can find me at Steve Plunk. You can find me on Eyes on the Ball TV on a Wednesday night, and you can find me on First 11 Football on a Monday night. So there's plenty of opportunity to come and have a look at what we do. Give all of these guys a follow. They're all top lads. I really enjoyed that this evening, gents. Thanks very much for coming on.
No, it was good. It was fun.
Good fun there. I'll be in touch just to make sure, see if you're available for Friday. In the meantime, have good weekends, and everybody except Jerry, I hope you get 3 points.
Take care, lads.
Take care. Cheers, guys. Ta-ra.
Oh my gosh.